What? It's the mule, baby. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Um, man, I've been listening to, I just finished listening to Kanye go on a whole rant. And even the guy who was interviewing him was trying to like calm him down. Give me 1 second, y'all. Wow, what's good, Kira? So I'm listening to this Kanye, and I'm telling y'all, this is dangerous. I'm just gonna tell y'all what I really feel. I feel like a lot of people keep saying he's crazy, he's this, he's that. But I don't really think he's crazy. I think he is delusional, and I think that he has no respect for history. Um, I think that he is a typical, I don't believe he's a genius. I believe he is a typical man that men that we hear all the time on YouTube. He's self-centered. Um, he's erratic. He really believes himself to be greater than what he is. And I think that it's just a lot of delusion in the black race right now, right? Um, it's I don't know if it's this manosphere thing that's going on that make men in our race, right, so hateful of their own image, their own self, that they are actually taking white supremacist talking points that they are now. And I've been saying this, that black men, the way they talk on YouTube, want to be the plantation masters. The way they talk on YouTube, they want the women to be their slaves. They want the women not to have a voice. It seemed like everything that the white man did them in slavery, they want to abuse black women with, right? And it's been odd, but now I hear Kanye saying that this man is a good man, this tyrant, this murderer, right? And they're saying, oh, like he's breaking it down, and to hear black men supporting this rhetoric, it is alarming, guys. But it's no more alarming than when I first started saying, with all the submission talk and all of this here, it's like black men want the black women to be their slaves. And and I've been wondering where they started with this white supremacy talk now, right? But now it seems like they really want not just black women, they want to fit in so bad with the KKK. I remember when I was young, I remember there was a guy named David Duke. He was running for political office in Louisiana, right? And it was all over the news. A lot of what I am hearing Kanye say about the Nazis is exactly how the KKK feel about the Nazis. And it's not surprising to me, honestly. It's just, I don't know if y'all remember. Wow, what's good, Sister Noble? Long time no see. Hey, Sister Jose. Hey, Sister. Um, yes. Sister Noble says Kanye has a vexation of spirit. In other words, it's a demon. Well, I think it's even deeper than that. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, Kira, yeah, I knew it, but this is what's alarming to me, right? Yes, that's the thing. They have taken the mind of their oppressor, and they couldn't be the oppressor, so that it's like if we can't beat them, join them, right? And they think all the ass kicking, kissing, and dick sucking that they doing. Oh, I didn't want to be vulgar. Oh my goodness. They think all of this here that they're doing to these white men is making them more acceptable. And they don't realize you're just making yourself a bigger fool for them. They are laughing at you for taking these talking points, knowing they hate you more than the Jews. You know, everything that everything that Kanye is saying now. Oh, I like the Jews, but I also love the Nazis. Are you sick? I mean, even the man Alex Jones had to say, "Oh, I don't agree with that." It's like black men have fallen so far down in thinking, in irrational thinking. They think that these people respect them. They think that Kanye is dropping jewels. And Kanye is not dropping jewels. And let me just be honest with y'all. I don't know if you guys remember, but I told y'all I kept having these nightmares. This is all playing into that part where the black men will be really labeled terrorists and they're gonna round their asses up. This shit just going from bad to worse. And it's like I could not see black men having us in a real patriarchy because the vision, they have no forethought. They think that when this shit go down, the white man is gonna stand by them. This is sick. No, you don't see white men going out there boasting on all of this, right? But you hear a few loud black people egging this shit on. But you seeing millions of black men agreeing, right? This shit is dangerous. If you love yourself, if you love your children, don't participate in this foolishness. Because when it go down, they're the ones who are going to pay for this. When all is said and done, guys, we're going to have to pay for this. And wait, I'm changing my earpiece. Give me 1 second. Okay, can y'all hear me? Put a one if you can hear me, please. Can anybody hear me? Mm. Oh, okay, good. Y'all can hear me. Thank you. Okay, because I was just changing my earbuds or whatever. No, but um if you go to any website and look up KKK speeches, right? Um, I think that he was calling himself the Grand Wizard. It was a guy named David Duke, and I'm telling y'all, a lot of the stuff that Kanye said, he took right from this man's speech. This is not some new shit that he created, and it's like I'm hearing all these people on YouTube amening him, like the brothers think he is onto something. And they keep trying to bring up this here Jewish thing, this, that, and other. Let me tell you something. None of us wasn't there in history. We don't know how they got all these religions everywhere, right? But what we do know is people have their damn faith. And if this is something they believe in and they've been raised to believe in and their parents and parents and parents believe in, leave them people alone. Who are y'all to be going around saying you ain't got the bloodline of it if they don't? And if they do, you'll never really know. You know, the way people was moving around, marrying, and look, we just don't know. Maybe they got whitewashed out of it. I don't know. But it's still their religion, it's their belief. It's very disrespectful for you to sit up here and tell somebody that they're not true at something. And then so far as these black people here in America, all of a sudden everybody's a Jew here, the black people. I believe that could be possible, some of them are. But for y'all to believe everybody here is Jewish is just ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. Wow, was good, Quita. Q Quita Water One. What's good, nobody B? Long time no hear from. No, there is no we. I'm not paying for shit. Kara crazy. So no, I'm just saying, listen, they 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 really are saying this guy is so smart. Let me drop this link. If you guys really feel like Kanye is smart for saying this, or it's a setup for something even, you know, listen, Kanye will be broke, y'all. Kanye is gonna be broke. He gonna keep on playing with these people. Somebody I know bigged up that interview Kanye did with Alex Jones when Kanye said those things about him. Yeah, it's a lot of sick people. And this is what's crazy. They are really going to keep on acting like this man is a genius. He's this, he's that. But guess what? That Negro don't like you. Kanye don't want to be nowhere around. Kanye don't want to have black kids. He don't want to be around no black people. Listen, this self-hate shit that's going on really needs to stop. It really needs to stop because he don't want to be by these. And this is the thing: these black men are acting like he's the next Christ or something. They're acting like he's telling you so much of the truth, and he's there for. When does Kanye ever give a shit about black men? When? Come on now. He can't even get along with black men he don't work with. You know? So I mean, we could sit up here and say all of this here. They had a fashion designer, a black man that was working with him, right? When he started off. The man asked for a certain amount of money for increase or whatever. After I guess he felt like he showed and proved that he can, build a brand for Kanye. When Kanye refused to pay the man that money, the man went to work for, I think, Louis Vuitton or somewhere, right? Do you know Kanye went on a screaming rant about this black man and how he made him and nobody knew who he was and this, that, and the other? You know, I don't know why y'all thinking this man is for a black man. He is not. He is the opposite. He don't want to see you succeed. He think you ain't shit. Him, Michael Jordan. Let me tell you something. They don't give no cares for black people, especially black men. he might could say some disgusting stuff about black women, right? But you know who he ultimately can't stand to be around? Black men. Cause y'all are the niggas to him. He might could say some shit that's unfavorable about black women, but the black men are the criminals and the ones that they really hate. If anybody want to come up and give their idea on what they think about this Kanye, some people saying that they're gonna kill Kanye. Let me tell you something. I don't really even believe they're gonna kill him. I think he is going to. I think he's gonna be the cause of a lot of brothers being locked up for this terrorism shit. You can go around saying all the hate stuff you want to say about everybody, but y'all know that one group of people have power, and you are not supposed to sit up there and say nothing bad about them. We are on those people internet. Those people own everything. They own YouTube. They own everything. And you sit up here and you want to sit up here and talk about the people who own everything. Instead, when you were a billionaire, Kanye, why you didn't build your own company like a YouTube and stuff for us to have a place to go to? See, that's why I don't have respect for a lot of these dudes. They talk a good game, but it's all freaking talk. I'm so tired of words from these men because they don't build no platforms or nothing where we can go to, right? Where we can say we free over here. They don't want to own shit, but then they want to just talk about other people. If you're so upset with the ways that these people are doing contracts and stuff like that, at least you could say you became a billionaire or from working with them. But you're not gonna sit up here and acknowledge that you keep talking about how unfair the contracts are. Wow, what's good, sister? Nobody.
Hey, that's good. I just pulled up for the sake of pulling up.
Okay. So what you think about Kanye? Do you think he's a genius? Do you think he's a new messiah? He's telling it like it is? Or you
I
think he
think he's
batshit
racist.
crazy?
I think he's
Yeah,
racist. According to the dictionary definition, I think he's racist.
yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Black people think they can't be racist against black people. Let me tell you something. A lot of people, if you hear their rhetoric, they don't like black people and they are black. If you keep hearing the way these people keep talking about, the power dynamics and black women got welfare. It's at first I thought it was like jealous. Are y'all jealous
Hmm.
that y'all didn't get well? But no, it's actually a hatred. They
Yep.
have had men say that they would rather see their children starve than a mother of their children go get food stamps. And it's like, God
Yep.
damn.
And honestly, I think the reason that Kanye is more racist is because he's using, if this makes sense, he's using like classism to separate himself from the rest of the black men. So he's racist towards all black people, but black men who have typical or low income can't separate themselves from other black men. So they're only racist towards black women because they don't want to talk about themselves.
I agree. But this is a sickness, yeah, and this sickness is spreading, it seems like now men in everyday real life are talking about it. I had somebody mention this yesterday at a function that I went to. And I was just like, it was like, yeah, because Kanye not scared of the Jews. And I'm looking at him like, are you, like, do you need lithium too? Do you need some medicine too? Like, what will make you think that just because you say something horrible, let me tell you something. No, Hitler was not the greatest. I mean, I feel like Mussolini killed way more people than Hitler. He did, right? If we do it by the numbers, right? He killed like 10 million Ethiopians alone, right? So I can look at Hitler. Hitler killed what, 13 million people? I think they said Mussolini killed like almost 100. million people throughout the world, when he was doing all the wars. Okay, we can say all of this here stuff, right? But Hitler was a vile human being. It is
He
shit
was
that I
also
want
a
to hear.
self-hater, so maybe that's why they resonate with him.
Yeah, he was vile. He murdered people because of jealousy. And I feel this shit, this rhetoric that they're doing
And the
is,
way in which he murdered them was so strategic. So it was nah, like that was some tactical ass shit. Like he's soulless.
yeah. And you trying to tell me there's some good in this Negro? I mean, in this damn, one thing, he wasn't a Negro. Ain't shit was good about no Hitler. Nothing. Nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear what he used to write children bedtime stories before he was a mass murderer. I don't give a shit what he did. I don't care if he killed the world of a horrible disease before he became Hitler. I don't care what good he could have done. I don't want to hear about that shit because it's nothing that's going to erase the torture and the murder that he committed. And one thing I
And the
do say,
experimentation.
yeah, black people, it make me sick. I'm gonna be honest. When we so quick to forgive, and so because y'all want to feel like the West time enough for grieving for the Jews, them people they ain't never forgiving that shit.
Say it again. Thank you. Exactly.
We the only ones want to forgive. Oh, the slave masters did us wrong, but it's time to forgive. Them people don't
Mm-mm.
forgive and they don't forget it. We the only one that want to smite our history and say get over it. Them people never want to get over it. They don't allow themselves to become the butt of jokes. They don't allow themselves to. But you know why we could be the butt of jokes? Because we joke at our shit, right? Ooh, master cut off my leg. Ooh, that's all right, master. I got another leg. I hop for you. We tell those kind of horrible fucking slave jokes. And they laugh. They think it's so funny. Master only would have had to hit me one time. He said my name was uh was Toby, not Coulter. I would have said the first whip. Oh, my name Toby. We tell those jokes, right? We hear them. I think we are the most low level of humans. I promise you. We think that we laughing at our pain, and all we're doing is showing people that they can continuously screw us over, and we will forgive. We will forget. We will say, "Oh, that was so long ago. Oh, that's in the past." But if you never learn from the past, honey, it's just gonna repeat itself. I don't forgive shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't forgive a lot of stuff. And if I do forgive, I don't forget it. I never want to forget it. I never want to not
Yeah,
know
I'm
who
not I'm
truly
not
is
an
my
open
enemy,
forgiver either.
who truly hate me, who truly has done me wrong on purpose. No, I'm not quick to forgive like that. You know. And if it was a mass murder of my people, hell no, it could have been a million years ago. If they brought it up, I would still
Right.
probably
And
want to
let
shed a
somebody
tear.
say they love the mass murder of my people. Yeah, no, you gonna get it. No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
he was a good man too. He mass murdered your people, but I still love him. Oh, and you think that's
And that's
acceptable?
kind of what they do, like with these statues. Oh, well, they're an American hero. Like, you know how black people, we've been wanting to take down these statues or change names of stuff. And like,
Uh-huh.
that's the same stance that white people have.
Yeah, that's why I say a lot of the rhetoric they really are taken from the Nazi playbook. They are really taking the KKK words. But I mean, in 1975, I'm telling you, I read this article, and that is when the KKK really got established in New Orleans. And they had all these articles about it, right? And this was in like the 90s. I was reading this article, and they was just basically documenting when it started and all of this here, right? And some of the exact shit they were like, we've been taught to despise Hitler, but they were really defending their people against the evil Jewish bankers. If you hear the shit that Kanye is saying today, this is the shit that the KKK was teaching and doing in speeches. This is why I say this shit is sick. They are really wanting to be the white supremacists. Sorry, y'all. I went to go pour me a drink. I've been drinking lemon, lime, and cucumber water. So and it's really refreshing. The cucumbers really make your water really, for some reason, like refreshing. But yeah, no, I just really feel like that they're going too far with this here. Let me see who will say, oh well, then they know what they're doing. Who cares? You're a cold blooded. Been tired of the lip service. Then you move. Then you need to move in silence. Kanye know better. We told you older women had this was real, and y'all said it was just on YouTube. So what changed? You older women clutch my pearls. If I had some on, I would be clutching them, girl. No, it. I will tell you what changed. I just never was around people that spoke so negative, so much hate. I never was around people that just my brothers, I never heard them like bashing black women. You know what I'm saying? If they had a problem with somebody, they would talk about her ass. You get what I'm saying? It was more, it's the same way with me. You would never hear me in my real life bashing black men. If somebody did something stupid, I would be calling that person, whatever John did this here, I can't stand him. So that is just how my mind is operating. If I get upset with anybody, man, female, male, female, whatever, I'm addressing that person. I'm not like attacking the whole gender. You know what I'm saying? That was something that was very new for me coming to YouTube. You know, um, so yeah, that's what really, and like I said, a lot of the stuff, I've been married a long time, and like I said, I don't know if people think I was naive or whatever, but I swear to God to y'all, my husband never said, um, "You gonna submit to me? I'm your leader, girl." We never had these type of talks, discussions, none of that. All this shit on YouTube it is new to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never heard no bullshit like this. People in real life, maybe now y'all talking like this. Maybe it's a generational gap. I don't know, but no. All these years I've been married, I'm telling you, when I asked my husband that shit, girl, we got in a whole argument over was I submissive. He was like, "Shit, why am I?" He's like, "You want to be?" Like, it's like, Negro, just answer the question. Like, shit. Because we never, I don't think real human beings just go around saying, "Girl, you gotta submit, and I'm your master, and you beneath me. You lesser than a man. You not equal to a man." When do y'all really go around in y'all personal life talking like that? And
I
if a
have heard
man,
this in real life. I have I have heard that
tell
these
tell me
dudes
tell me
talk
tell me the
about this.
scenario. Break it down to me. Tell me how that conversation came out.
Okay, bet. So my best friend was at okay, my best friend was at her baby daddy's friend's house, and they were talking between the dudes. There was be okay because because my best friend's baby daddy's friend's girlfriend was the submissive pick me that he was talking about, and my best friend is like more like the independent, black woman trope. So like the dudes was talking about, oh yeah, submission, and oh, she needs to talk to you different, and they were having a real life red pill conversation. Yep.
Girl, see, I daydream and dream of a day I walk into a room and they talking that shit. I really do. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be something so outrageous. It is that would be horrifying. I might call the police on them. That is so abusive language to me. Every time I hear this, I just think men who want to abuse you, who want to be the slave master. It is so sickening to me. It turns my stomach. And then to know that our people was denied um, just the right to be called a human at one point, and for you to want to subjugate your own woman, your mothers, your sisters, your daughters. Let me tell you, I done told y'all my dad is from East Africa. But you know what my dad always told me why he never would marry or do anything over there, why he wanted to leave? He said if he stayed over there, he would have never married or had kids. And I used to ask him, he said because the horrible way that they treat the women and girls over there, he never would have wanted to have children to risk to have a daughter. That's what my dad told me. And it's people here in America who romanticize and they don't know shit about what be going on over there. They think everything is okay and it's such a beautiful thing, man. Did you ever watch that thing I did when I was talking about women with the original first slaves? When a man found out he could
I
get
didn't get to watch that, but that sounds good.
yeah, when the man first found out that he could sell his daughter for a cow or a goat or something, and they just started bartering like that and getting the women pregnant.
I think that they know though. I think they know the type of conditions and everything. That's why they talk about how they can use their money to have some sense of superiority because they know the poverty. They know like the women being submissive. Like they know what's going on there. They don't, and they have a disdain for children. I used to think that was extreme when I first heard it from Cynthia G, but then I realized it's through their actions and not through their words. And it's like, yeah, that's probably true. So they're not thinking about, oh, well, the majority of them are not thinking about who want to do that. Sorry, are not thinking about, oh, well, what if I have a daughter? Or what is her experience going to be? They don't care.
They
They don't
don't.
care.
They don't. You know, but it's just wild to me how people really. I'm telling you, maybe let me get my other device. But you guys can read this for yourself. This stuff that Kanye is saying, a lot of these here men in the manosphere are saying, it's all Nazi shit. It's all propaganda from back then. It was the reason they gave a reason to go exterminate a whole group of people. And they always talk about Hitler killed 6 million Jews, right? But they never tell you that he killed 13 million people in total. He wiped out all of the gypsies. He wiped out the damn Dutch. Why you think the Dutch, those old hateful motherfuckers, took over South Africa? That's why they had to flee too. They had to flee just like the Jews did. They was, and so they keep trying to make it seem like he only was after one group of people. No, he was after people who were richer than them. They were the poor people, the underprivileged people, and they felt like, they wanted to come up.
You know what I just thought about though? And I'm gonna hop off because the momming never stops and I'm gonna watch from the clouds. But I thought about this because this really depressed me when I had heard, I forgot what content creator was reading the dictionary definition of genocide. And I realized that Black men have been genociding the Black community for years. And that was the most fucked up thing I ever realized. Like, that was intense. So once again, it makes sense why someone may or may not empathize with Hitler because they on the same shit.
Wow, that's a great point. Yeah, that is a great point. I didn't even look at it like that, but you're right. I've been saying it for years. We kill, well, not we, but black men kill more black men than the police do. I mean, but it seems like we only really care is when the police do it. which I don't think they make it right. Wow, what's good, Kira? I mean, I'm not for everyone.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, honey, what you think? Or do you think Kanye is a genius?
I don't associate with. No, he's not. He's a nut job. But now that you know the truth, how do you feel about this?
I just think that it's too many. I just need our brothers to get at least. It seemed like really on YouTube. I never knew men need to follow men as much. Like my husband really is not a follower for anything. You know, my family is huge in Masons, right? And they have been trying for years and years and years to get him to join, right? And he's just not a follower of people. Like he don't have a problem with, you know, learning or doing things, but so far as joining and following men, I just think that on YouTube, everybody looking for a daddy, for a father, you know, for a father figure. I don't know. Wow, what's good, MJ? Hey, Sharice. Wow. Water sniper. Wow, water sniper. Who is you talking about? Get that woman off the panel with this nonsense. She was dropping damn jewels, and you know it. Don't start. Wow, what's good, Mr. Devastating for you? He got his coffee, y'all. No, but I mean, I just feel like so you saying you already knew this. Now nobody was saying that
Mm-hmm.
she heard this in a real conversation about submission. Have you really heard that in real life?
Yeah.
Tell me the scene. Tell me, set it up for me. How did that conversation happen? I just can't believe this. And y'all didn't curse these Negroes out. Oh
Well, it
Lord.
depends. Well, it depends because it's not just a scene or a scenario. For some of us, we were at a young age. For some of us, we didn't understand what they were saying. For some of us, they weren't even talking to us. So, and this was usually with older people. Once when I started, I mean, for myself, I mean, I've heard this even on before YouTube became YouTube. There were tons of shows where men were talking about it, black men, and they were Gen X and older, and they were talking about submission. So it's not something that I haven't heard because my parents were religious, so we went to church. So submission is a word that I've heard before. I heard it at church too, but I've also heard it with men implying it to women when it comes to dating.
Yeah, woman, let me just give y'all a piece of advice. You never should submit to anybody that you're only dating. Never. I don't even know if you. I don't know. I think I think I am submissive. I don't know. My husband won't give me a damn answer. I think because okay, so this is my thing. I like to make him happy, right? I like to do things for him that's nice, and because he does so much good things and nice things for me, right? So I think if you have a decent relationship, a happy relationship, you do kind of think like, oh, let me pick this up if I see something, you know, or let me, do this here, or even like with my kids, I know like if my son did a good report card, I know what his favorite meal is. I'm gonna make that for you. I do stuff like that. So, is that what y'all considering submission? Like, is that submission like doing good things for people? Like, shit, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, if that's the case, then yeah, I am. But now, if submission means I don't have no backbone, I can't speak up for myself, I can't disagree. Nah, I ain't submissive. If that's the case. But so far as trying to make him happy or feeling like I want to put smiles on my kids' faces, yeah, I think I'm submissive. I mean, I go out my way to do that. I really do. My son has been doing amazing, y'all. I'm getting him a gaming computer and some other stuff because he deserves it. I mean, he really haven't been giving me no problems, no all school year, and I mean, I don't know if I think I'm submissive. If that's what submissive is. If submissive mean I can't have a voice, I don't know. I don't know what y'all want to do with submissive, but y'all can keep. I don't. I guess I'm not a label person. Don't label me shit, cause ain't nobody gonna tell me to. I don't know. When I hear submissive, honestly, I just feel abuse. I
That's exactly
don't.
what it is, because it's not meant to be used for a relationship or dating. Submissiveness is only in the confines of a Christian based religion, for someone who actually follows the Christian religion, whatever you want to call it, the doctrine of Christianity. And on top of that, the requirement for getting submission is you have to be married. That's one. And two, it is the woman's choice. So based on your behavior of how you treat her, it is her decision or not if she's going to submit to you. That's not a decision that you get to make.
Well, that sounds good because, like I said, I think
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go, but that's not the way it's being used. It's being used as a form of abuse.
yeah. Yeah, see, and I that's how I hear it. When I hear the men talk about it, it sounds to me like abuse. It doesn't sound like something that you would want to willingly do. When I think about just in a relationship, I mean, what's the good in being with somebody if you don't want to make them happy, right? What's the good in being with somebody if you don't value them? Um, and I think that goes for men and damn women. I mean, I wouldn't want to be with my husband if I had no value for his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't
Hmm.
see the worth or the value of him, why would I want to? Why do these men don't want to see no worth or value in a woman, but you want a wife or you want a relationship? It's just the craziest thing. I don't know. And then they make put up all this make believe stuff because see, in a relationship, the man gotta provide and protect, and the man that's all he do. He don't help raise kids. He don't do
Hmm.
nothing else. He just so what if you providing too? What if and when
Hmm.
you're not
And
with him, ain't you got to
mm,
protect yourself? Ain't Don't you have to
oh,
protect the kids? Like
hold
it's the
on.
dumbest stuff. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no, I'm not saying that. I was just about to warn you that that's still true too, but you got to add that one on to now the new one that they're now trying to spin. Now they're trying to spin the fact that it's we women that have been saying that they are the providers and protectors. So you got to keep that in mind now too, because they're starting to say that now too. Oh, you women are the ones that said that we were the providers and protectors. No, that was you. Since the beginning of time, since I've been born, that's all y'all have been saying that y'all know how to do. So stop the bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. In my family, even in my real life, all the women in my family has always worked. Everybody in my American family works. Everybody, all of them, my aunts, cousins, everybody, sisters, everybody always worked, and they have husbands. So this whole scenario that they try to put out, I just don't understand even how the black women fall for it either. It's so like, did you open your eyes? Did you not see Big Mama working? Did you not see everybody have a job? When did you see these people just sitting at home, resting in their femininity? I just didn't see that. So I really feel YouTube, and then they throw up this here 50-50 shit, right? That even bothers me.
That they created.
You know, oh, you should go 50-50. Let me be honest with you. No, I'm not going to go there.
That's
The
not
fit,
50-50. That's 100 and like what, 2%? That's what they're trying to get.
yeah,
But
because
no,
let me tell
in
you
a
something.
marriage is not 50-50, by the way. It's 100-100. And if you're not willing to
Yeah,
give 100 to that person, don't fucking get married or don't even try. I'm gonna say this. I don't care what anyone says. Marriage is for grown folks. If
yeah,
you ain't grown, you don't need to be getting married. And just because you done hit 35, don't mean you grown.
and you know this whole notion that if you don't get married, like not successful, or if you don't have kids, you're not successful. You know, that's just some bullshit. If you don't have kids or you don't get married, listen, I can be alone and never feel lonely. I don't, people really need to stop the shit. They feel like men can be bachelors forever, but what they say, if you're a woman and you never got married, you're old maid. Remember that? Remember we even had an old maid card game. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh yeah, I don't. I never played the card game, but I do remember that old maid. But I do remember the saying also too back then. You're gonna be an old maid. Yeah. But there is a card game called the Old Maid. But yeah.
Yeah, we used to even play that. It's
Yeah, it's
always
a card
been
game.
to
It stems
make it
from a
seem
card
like
game.
that's your life goal. But you know what? That was the life goal when women had no rights. That was the life goal
No
because you didn't
rights.
have no rights.
You can do anything else except get married.
You think if I was a single woman, hearing the way these guys talk, girl, I probably wouldn't even date nobody.
Oh, most women are deciding not to date. Yeah.
I would be too scared to date a man, let alone think to cohabitate or to marry. Like shit on that. Keep your money, but brother. Keep your money.
Yeah.
I'm
Keep
good
your
over
money.
here. Get
I
your
don't want
y'all,
to next to you. Keep your
get
money.
y'all pieces of steel to keep y'all protection and honey. I mean, if a guy was ever talking to you like that, I'm telling you, run. Because he already have a distorted, warped view of what a woman is. We are not just sexual objects. We think, we build. We create life. We need help creating life, and that means we also need help raising the lives that we created. This is shit like they want the women to do superhuman things. You want the woman to work full-time jobs, be the perfect wife, cater to you, be at your beck and call, be everything to the kids because you ain't gonna have time for the kids because once you do a full day's work, you need your peace, and the woman got to keep it. Girl, I even heard a man say he don't spend too much time with his kids because he tell his wife he can't be bothered with them till the weekend. Now they live in the same house, he claims, but because he worked 12-hour shifts, when he get home, he want to just kick off his boots and get some alone time for him. And then later on, once he shower, after he done ate and showered, then he'll go spend a little quality time with the mom. But she's been and put the kids to sleep. I was listening to this damn man, and the brothers thought that shit sounded good. So your wife is what Cynthia G called a married single mother. You don't even want to see your kids, and you live in the house with them. Do y'all know how quick I used to get off of work to help me go pick up my kids from daycare, pick up my kids from school? Man, you think I would be able to survive wanting to see my kids once or twice a week? These people are sick. And I think it's MJ. And I think MJ used to say like they lose their humanity. A lot of these guys are really losing their humanity. So I don't know. But I will say this here. I hope you guys are not falling for this Kanye. Wait. Water Sniper says Mule. Tom Hanks said he just recently found out about the Black Wall massacre. Do you believe him? Look how old he is not to know. Yeah, I believe him. Let me tell you something. That Black history was never really a part of American history. There are Black people um, who actually grew up north in New York. My cousins, these are my first cousins from my uncle. They were born and raised in New York, and they didn't have the same history and stuff that we got in the South. They really didn't. Black men always there to do all of these things for their kids. Women said it. What you mean women said what though, Steve? Why they never name which woman said it? I don't know. Which
Oh,
woman
I think
said
he was
what?
talking about when I said that they're starting to say that women are saying, oh, what did they start to say? They're starting to say now that, oh, women, you're the ones that were saying that we're just providers and protectors. And he's saying, which woman said that? Why is it they can never name the woman who said that to them? Yeah, because Nobody said it to them because they're lying.
I don't know. MJ says submission is being misconstrued for self-benefit.
Yeah, she's right. Yeah, it says submit to one another. Yeah, that's what it says. That's also the other part that they don't read.
Wait, hold on. She says submission is being misconstrued for self-benefit. Both individuals are to submit to each other and they are to be obedient to God according to the good book. 50-50 is never race. Listen, I'm going to be honest. Wow, what's good, Queen Cascade? Yeah, I don't have a problem with helping, paying bills, doing whatever because financial wise, I have a family, right? And to be more, to have more, and I wanted my kids to have a good life, right? I don't have a problem. I don't see nothing wrong with both people working if you can. I did stay home for a good bit in my early years with the kids when they were babies for a little while because I was just too stressed trying to work and have, small kids. But then I went back to work. But yeah, I mean, I didn't marry a millionaire. Okay, so you want nice things, you want to build, you want to try to buy homes. You need to, I don't have a problem help paying bills and providing for my family as well. This is why I think this shit is so crazy when they keep saying that men provide, men protect. Let me tell you, my husband used to be in the military and he would have his deployments. And when he was gone, who was protecting him? Hmm? Even today, if I'm on my way to work, who's protecting me? Hmm?
Just like
When
all
when
of
I'm when I'm shopping, who's protecting me? You're not glued at the damn hips with somebody. Like they're gonna always be there. This is just crazy talk when they say they provide and protect. That's all they gotta do. Even when you're not with them, they're protecting you. It's just craziness. I mean, no, you know who protect us? The law. Somebody
yeah.
do something to your ass, you dial 911.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your husband should be at work and is he just around hanging outside to make sure nobody bother you? I mean, this is just crazy shit but it's like women have bought into it as well because you hear the women on these things, amen in it. Girl, Crimson Cure MJ got a new book. Did you buy Crimson Cure new book? Kira, you bought Crimson Cure new book?
You try the mule.
I'm buying that damn book. I'm gonna read it chapter by
Mm-mm.
chapter to you ass.
I bet you
Hey,
are.
hey, MJ, you know what your problem is?
Exactly. While reading the chapter by chapter, we gonna get you fired. And by fired, I mean fired from
Kira.
YouTube, and you ain't even got a job at YouTube. We just gonna tell them, just fire her. She ain't got a job here anyway. We'll do it anyway. Shoot.
Gonna find me on my day. Kira, you know what your problem is?
Exactly. Gonna
Crimson
be
Kill
on
said it
live.
right here.
Exactly. Here's the chapter. Let me see. What's the problem with you, girl? Let me see. I'm gonna be calling YouTube. Let me get her fired.
Just make up some stuff. Just read it. That's what you doing. I know that's what you're doing. Girl, look. They was talking about that book, girl. Crimson Kill book. I said, well, Mule need to come up with a good mammy book. How to be the number one mammy and Mule. All you gotta do is say yes, sir. You need to call your husband, not sir, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, is there anything else? And a good wife only sleeps 30 minutes a day. That's it. If you sleep more than 30 minutes a day, you lazy and good for nothing. You agree with that, huh, Q? Because I know you don't sleep more than 20 minutes a day.
I'll sleep as long as I please. Shit.
MJ sleep 10 minutes. Oh, Lord Jesus. Girl, the stuff they want the women to do is so crazy. It's like, God damn. And the poor women just believe it. Queen Cascade don't sleep at all, baby. Because, see, she's a real good woman right now. Wow, what's good, Sister Incognito?
Yeah,
That's your problem, MJ. Your parents were supposed to raise a fool. You see, this is the problem with the black.
Here we go.
Wait, let me try to stick back to Kanye because well, girl, that's how they think. They think if you had a father, your father would have raised you to be a fool. And I tell people, well, my dad must have wasn't good to y'all standards because he told me the opposite. My dad was even mad that I got mad. I was in college 2 years and I took and got married. My dad was upset. He wanted me to wait till afterwards. So I don't even know how these men pretend like they don't raise their kids to be successful. You know, it's just really weird. If you had a dad, he wouldn't have told you this. I'm like, yeah, he would have. He would have told your ass you're gonna be counting on yourself. You know?
Yeah. That's the one thing that we've been trying to get an answer with. It's like, okay, you're telling the women who aren't your daughters one thing, but your daughter, you're telling her something completely different. Why? Like, why are you protecting your daughter, but you won't protect these other girls? I'm like, and I'm not someone who's by and large a stupid person. My brain goes further than that. It don't just stop there. It trickles down somewhere, and it's like, well, clearly you're getting some type of benefit from lying to all these girls, but telling the truth to your daughter. So you're getting a benefit in there somewhere. Where could it possibly be? Well, you
Wait a
don't
minute,
talk to
MJ.
women. You don't particularly care about women. So what could it possibly be? Could it be the fact that it could be sexual access?
Wait, MJ, you got a channel and I was not told?
Oh, yeah, she does have a channel. Yeah, and she didn't tell nobody.
I'm appalled. I am appalled, MJ. What's the name of the channel? Can you drop the link in the chat? What is
I
going
heard her.
on?
I heard her one night on somebody's show, and she said, "Yeah, I have a show." I said, "Sis, when MJ get a channel?" I said,
She said her Queen Cascade just went over the 1950s. Good Housewife manual script on my channel. God,
"Oh,
I gotta
you
watch
read that?" Yeah, somebody
She said it was
years ago she
eye-opening.
read it. That 1950s good wife. Yeah, it is. That's some bullshit. Yeah, I read that a
Oh
few years
man.
ago. Like what I was, like 25 or something like that. 23. Yeah.
Incognito said she didn't know you had a channel either.
See, didn't nobody know.
Lana Love says, Mill, we have no business sleeping at all. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying, Lana. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally glue my eyelids open to make sure that I don't let the devil get to me. You know, because the devil be trying to tempt me to close my eyes. Wait, hold on 1 second. Wait, everybody, we gotta go over and subscribe. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pin this here, link at the top. I want everybody, please go subscribe to my girl. 1 second, y'all. I mean, Kira, can you talk for a second? Let me pin this link.
Me? What am I gonna say? I can't run my mouth on endless. Okay, I think I found it. I just subscribed. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Okay, I thought it was under your name when I tried to search for it. Well, under your profile name.
Kira. Okay, so I pinned it. Do y'all see it?
Yeah.
Can everybody please go and subscribe? Because we're going to be over there. A word with Lorraine. I like it. I already subscribed.
I know, right? MJ be coming with them facts, and she be killing me when she be saying waterhead.
Girl, every time I hear somebody say waterhead, look, I say they get that from MJ.
I know every time I hear somebody say waterhead, I said, I know who you got that from. You got that from MJ. You better trademark that.
Yeah, Lima, didn't I tell you to stop talking to these waterheads?
Mm-hmm.
God, I be weak. Oh, Lord. Yes, no. I'm gonna find your video and I'll try to share it on my thing on my community wall. She said no quick and scarcity. Do we really care about Kanye? I honestly do not care about what happens to him or what he's. I don't care about what the hell happened
Me
to him.
neither.
What I'm saying is, he is really becoming, to me, um, but like the KKK, the Nazis. I mean, seriously, the rhetoric that he's saying, I'm telling y'all, if y'all want to go back, there was an article I read like in the 90s, and I just pulled it up yesterday. Um, while I was at work, I was bored, and I was like, because some of the things this man was saying, I promise you, it's like word for word. You know how you can hear something and remind you of something?
Yeah, you'll
And
hear something word for word, and it's like, wait a minute, why does that sound so familiar?
yeah, girl, when I tell you in this article, they was just basically blaming these people for everything. And they were saying that it's just basically like the Jews' fault that they got killed because they wouldn't have been so greedy and running everything. And then he's like, yeah, you can go into the grocery store with a wheelbarrow of money and can barely buy a loaf of bread. And it's like, now this is what the hell you saying? That they just doing this here with the contracts and this that, and the other. It's just too much. It's just the same rhetoric that these white supremacists, and then you remember the KKK took on a lot of the Nazi stuff. That's why they got the swastikas and stuff. The old KKK didn't use the swastika. The KKK that started back in the 70s started using the swastika. So I mean, do we really want to follow black men who are following these people? And this is what I say. They let us into slavery, selling us, right? They do the most, and it's just like they never learn that until they actually do right by their women. Look at every great society, right? Even the Jews, right? Look at everybody who's so accomplished. Do you know they regard their women highly? They treat their women kind. Look at all of these savage countries. Wow, Reese, Sharice, come on up. I miss you. You don't even great Sharice.
She showed on. Sharice done ditched us all.
She done
I
put
feel
me
some
down.
type of way, Sharice. Mill, do you feel some type of way?
Yes. Sharice is my baby.
See, we feel some type of way, Sharice. See?
See, the problem with Sharice is
Oh no.
Sharice, what's going on? Why you don't come up no more? Are you working more?
Sharice got into the holidays and said, I'm busy.
Sharice started to say, I'm tired of you too. But no, I mean, I really don't see her anymore. I don't hear her voice. But I think Sharice and RM got a channel.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they said they do. I think I
Yeah, I did. I
subscribed.
subscribed to it and I hit the alert button, but at the time they didn't have any videos yet. So, but Yeah, you know, yeah, he might be dying for attention. And you're right. He don't want the attention from us. And let me tell you, there was a news person who he was supposed to interview with, and he was asking how could he, when the president campaign, right? And when she said whatever, when he said that, yeah, you could get the black vote, he said that to him. Child, Kanye left. He didn't want to do that interview no more. You think Kanye worried about the damn black vote? He has surpassed. He like OG. He not black no more. You know.
Well, tell it
They
to the
convict.
people who ain't, because according to them, you are.
Yeah, but guess what? What he don't get is what we don't get, because he gets it. He don't see himself really as black, but he will use blackness as a
Yeah, to benefit himself.
yeah, and that's all it is
Or
a stepping stone for
convenient.
him. Huh?
I said, or when it's convenient.
Yeah. MJ, you coming up? No. Reese and Rochelle need to start streaming soon. Yes, I've been waiting too. I've been waiting.
I was going to tell you that a lot of the stuff you're talking about today matches up with something that I was listening to last night that someone had a hour stream on. I guess you could call it a stream. He didn't have like a panel or anything like that, but he was just talking, and he was
Who?
explaining. His name is it's called the Amari Brown Show.
Amari Brown. Amiri Brown? Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
of him.
Mary. Yeah, he was
Uh-huh.
explaining. He was explaining about how he was explaining about how the fact that the men's division of labor became equinized with income, with the type of wage, that then it turned into the fact that the men's by their his division of labor was therefore valuable because it was making a wage, but then they turned to make the woman's contribution to society invaluable.
Oh. Wait, say that again? That kind of makes sense.
No, he was saying that. Oh, well, if you want to, I think he's okay with you, with people reviewing his stuff. But he was saying that how when it started, because you know how before where they say we were hunter gatherers,
Uh-huh.
and then because of slavery, they also didn't have a wage. Nobody was, if people were working but they weren't getting paid, nobody was getting paid, which made sense because everyone else didn't have to work because they had slaves. So. And he was saying once after that stopped, they, of course, came to the industrial area. And then that's when men started having to get jobs and make wages. And that's when it became a division because now the man is making a wage for his labor while the woman isn't. But before, neither one of them were making a wage because he had to go out and hunt or gather or, like get food and stuff like that. And then she had to cook it. So therefore, they were both equal in that way because if neither one of them did their job, they would both die. But once when men started making a wage, and then that's when it, that's I can tell you. I mean, we can see from just our lives of what happened. Honestly, that's where it went to hell because then now you got someone who has a wage, and it makes sense because then you get to the stories of you hearing men lording their money over women, telling them that, well, I make a wage and you don't, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard those
Yeah.
stories, so we can't deny it. It is true.
Yeah.
And then eventually that's where feminism came along, where white women, they wanted to do work, but black women were already doing that work, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing. Black women were always working, even as slaves in the fields, in the big house, wherever there was work to be done, they put a down woman there to do it, and she did the same equal amount of work. They didn't say, "Oh, your bag of cotton don't need to be as heavy as his." Child, she had to do the same work. The kids had to work. Everybody worked during slavery, and for some reason, these modern men, I've heard modern men say that black men in America don't work too hard for 400 years for free. They don't need to work no more. As if the woman wasn't working the whole time with you. It's just the stupid shit. So I don't know.
Yeah, he said it a lot better detail than I did, but it's really good if you want to listen to it and get a reaction to it. Like he really does a very good breakdown of it. It's really cool how he kind of, if I don't know if he noticed it, but he kind of goes through like almost every generation, and it explains like the trickle down as to where we are right now in 2022.
Okay. Wow, what's good, my sister MJ? You
Wow,
so
Lena,
beautiful.
what's up? Oh, thank you.
Hey MJ,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, MJ?
Oh, I'm good. I just came back from work, so I'm just sitting up, laying up for a bit. You know, how is your Saturdays going, ladies?
And mine just going pretty good. I just
It's
was
going-
earlier reading my mail. I had got backed up on mail and stuff like that and paying bills.
Mhm.
That's
I hear
what I
that.
was doing earlier. But I stopped because I how you try to busy your mind. So I started listening to stuff and it just dawned on me that these men are really sounding like you know and I'm like, I wonder, do people even realize that they're repeating Nazi talking points? It's like this shit is
Um,
not original what he's saying. This is not original what
Hmm.
Kanye is saying. It's
I
like
don't.
horrible.
Hmm.
You know what's so funny is I think that it's a mixture of both. I think that some people are do not know that they are spewing propaganda, and other people know that they are spewing propaganda. However, they have found the loophole that is beneficial to them, that makes people move the way that they need them to move, right? um we noticed that in a lot of spaces, especially with a lot of people who wants to come on as the new coming of a leader or the new messiah, especially in in our communities, because we if you look at our community, we have so many different type of sectors that actually end up turning out being nothing but cults. So all they do is push a certain type of narrative, certain type of propaganda. And it's all about feel good, but not really do anything. So that's why I say, yes, some people might be naive to what they're actually saying, and other people have found a way to twist it to their benefit.
I agree with
I
that.
I agree with that. I agree with that fully because it's just seemed I was just saying earlier, it just seemed like our people always looking for a leader. And I just want us to start using our mind and be our own leaders. You don't, it's good to, I always say two heads are better than one, right? But you should still have your own damn head. You should still be able to think
Absolutely,
for
Lena.
yourself.
You know why?
I thought that was a whole phrase of two heads are better than one. You can both think, and
Did
it's
you know
twice
what's
the
so
brain power.
funny? The reason
Hmm.
why I believe that that's like heavily strong in our community of this, we need a leader, we need a figurehead, we need someone to be the symbol of whatever type of motive we're trying to push through, is because
Religion.
when we dealt with religion and colonialism, right? There
Mm-hmm.
has always been the presence of elitism.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point of white supremacy is someone is superior than you. It's been literally twisted in the black community's mind that we have to be quote unquote superior in something, right? So it's always this like, you can't sit with us because we're better than you. Or I know more than you, so you're not the person that I need to listen to on any aspect. Even though I have no credentials, even though I don't study a specific type of topic or or pamphlet or whatever not, I am more equipped to understand what is being spoken than you being able to read it with your mind. The black community has a very strong uh force behind elitism in everything that we do. And we love to put people against each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just like where we have those interracial struggles where, oh, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not black, I'm African. What is all that? That's all elitism. So we tend to gravitate to elitism, and we try to find some way to literally separate us because we have to feel that, well, I'm not like that person. I'm better than something. And that's because of all the conditioning of us being, you're inferior. You can't drink at this water fountain. You can't go to this school. You can't work at this place. You can't buy this bag because I'm sure you can't afford it. Let me follow you around the store because I'm sure you're gonna rob me. But they getting robbed blind by the old Becky stealing like 50 50 items and putting it in her shopping cart that makes it look like she just went to the grocery store. We're conditioned. We're conditioned that we have to find a way that we are superior in something. And the easiest thing that Black people can find superiority with is with amongst each other. Correct?
Yes,
Correct.
yes. And I say that all the time. It's like um we're our biggest adversary, especially if you look at the way we harm each other, right? We even when it's protests and riots, it's like they don't go into other communities. They destroy it right around where they live. Right around where they work at. You would destroy the business, the company you work at, that but a lot of Black people work at. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just I just always look at it as like the self hate for ourselves. It's just so unreal to me. And now to have somebody who they're saying is a genius just reciting and regurgitating racist KKK talking points, and I don't know.
The problem
I
is that he's setting us up for failure. I don't understand why anybody's congratulating him, right?
Yeah.
Because the simple fact is, they know just as much that Kanye is going out of control and he's really doing the most. They know just as much as we do, right? The simple
Hmm.
fact is, they're waiting to see if the Black community is going to stand up and condemn him. If we show our support, I guarantee you, anything that transpired after Kanye, we are not going to be looked at as innocent. We're not going to be looked at as, oh, we didn't have a say. Oh no, don't even take them seriously because they don't put somebody in their community in check or in place. So we don't want to hear anything anymore. It's going to be bad for us. It's going to be bad for us later on down the road if something seriously happened and we want to let everybody know that the injustice is happening. They be like, nah, it's not really injustice. You didn't check him when he said this. You didn't check him when he did that. That's the problem. It's the problem when we have the ability to show them that we know how to basically correct the things in our community, we don't do it. We make excuses. We try to say, oh, it's because of A, B, C, and C. We pull back from history, way back from history, to bring up the things that why this person is behaving the way that we are. And this is why a lot of people don't take us seriously when it comes down to real like legislation to get things moving so it could benefit our community, because we don't do the initial steps for ourselves. So
I agree.
they don't really have an inkling to do anything for us, because they're like, well, they're not even going to keep up with it. They're not saying that this is important to them. So
Right.
why should we be important? Why should it be important to us? They're not in our community. We don't give a
Right.
fuck. Let them kill themselves. Let them do this. Let them do that. DV's going wild. Oh well. You know what I'm saying? They're like, as long as in my community, I'm controlling it to a bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to go out of my way to make things right in their community. In fact, it's a benefit to them. And these are what these other communities are saying. Whether or not if they're going to be always against us or how anybody feel, at the end of the day, there's no incentive. There's no incentive to them for them to do anything in regards of our community. The only time they're going to step up and do something is when we start trickling down our bullshit in their communities. That's the only time.
I agree, but I even think that what you said is so serious because I've been having this premonition, and I'm telling y'all this stuff is coming, and I'm giving it like on Grace 2024. Hopefully, it might be even a little before that. But listen, they are labeling the men already as terrorists. And let me tell you something. What MJ just said is dead on point. You know, I think they're just waiting for something bad to happen to somebody in that community, a few of them, and that shit is gonna start something big.
They've been planning it for the past 4 years.
And listen, being
For the
labeled that,
past 4 years, you can go on the Reddit. You can go on the Reddit webpage. They've been literally
They've
planning
been
it.
dropping seeds for years.
They've been dropping receipts of what they want to do, how they want things to go, how they plan out everything to go. They said, I know somebody is going to do something that's going to violate, and then we're going to be able to get the chains off of us where we can go ahead and do whatever the hell we want to do. Because all they want is for you to literally do something that's against, quote unquote, the law, knowing that when we do something against the law, it's 10 times worse for us than it's for any other first person in their community. They're just waiting for us to just do something that would straight violate, where we don't have no protection, where anybody be like, okay, well, hey, let's just look at it like, not with our personal feelings in it. Let's just look at it at the basis of the law and then show us what's going on from there and there. No, they're not going to do that. They're just waiting for the perfect time when they can get the chains off so they can wild out and go do exactly what they've been doing before. That's all they want. That's all they're waiting for. They can care less about anything else.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying, just what you said. They feel like these other races of men have said this, right? They repeated this here, the KKK and all of this here rhetoric, right? But have you seen anything since the 70s ever happened to them? No. So when this stuff falls, you're not going to get away with it clean like they have. That's why I say it's almost seemed like they have no thought process of the future. They can't see around what's coming to them around the corner. It's like, you have to, if you're going to say outrageous things, you have to think that these consequences, right? But the thing is, when something happens, you are now going to be targeted. They're already targeting. The FBI is already targeting to a bunch of these men, right? For hate.
I was about to say it's already happening.
Yeah, but I'm saying, it's to me, you're gonna start seeing a lot of people get locked up. I'm telling you, it's just gonna be ridiculous. And who can blame them? And then they sit up here and want to be leaders, but they're following people who hate them. This is the thing. I don't know if they think the enemy of my enemy is not gonna be my new best friend. Honey, the enemy of your enemy still is your enemy, because these people, these white supremacists, they don't just hate Jews. Remember, they hate Black people as well. I even was hearing the conversation about should they sterilize the poor Black people, poor Black women. Who says that shit? Who used to say that directly in the 90s? The KKK. They were talking about all of these here women having these kids and getting on social aid, right? And they were not trying to use Black women by saying it, but they really, that's who they were targeting. And now we have Black men saying it. That they don't believe that if you make under a certain amount of money, you should be allowed to have kids. So I'm just to the point where I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like not everybody's gonna make $100,000. So if you don't make $100,000, you shouldn't have a right to have kids. That does not mean that, Now I am for planning your kids. I am for making sure that you can afford, because kids are very expensive, right? So I am for that. But sterilization of people, of women,
they have always sterilized women, and they have always did a sterilization of community that have bore too much kids that started to become too much for a particular government or country to pay for. That would not have, what people need to understand, that would have never ever have happened or even been brought to the table if people actually valued and try to do their best to take care of kids. Okay, now yes, we know that the economy is crazy right now. Everything is expensive, and adding children into it is very expensive. Okay, very expensive. And I do believe with you, Lima, I don't believe that, yes, it's not fair that you're going to tell people who doesn't make $100,000 that they cannot have children. However, there needs to be a show of force that you are taking care of these kids and providing for these kids, pretty much the basics, right? You have to be providing the basics. And to see that these kids are actually showing movement out of their current circumstances into a better life. Like if they had more of a data stating that kids that are poverty driven in low income communities are having a higher number increase to moving out of the lower class standard and moving into middle class or upper class, they wouldn't put that there. But what is happening, any of the reports that they're actually doing, they're not seeing that. They're seeing that the numbers are stagnant or is getting worse. So now it's like in their mind is like the government is just coming out with more, is coming out to paying more money or giving more grants or whatever not, and people are just continuously to have more babies that they can't take care of, that the government ends up taking care of. So if we don't, and that affects our community first, you know what I'm saying? Because of where in most of our communities are in the poverty line, where they're making 45,000. Like poverty starts at 45,000, in this country. That's poverty. You live in poverty if you have a 45,000 job. So we have to find a way where they can see that is a mobility of, even if we're producing or increasing children in our communities, they are actually being removed from the quote unquote lower class state and moving more into the middle or upper class. If we show an increase, then they won't do it. But if not, then they're going to find a way where they're going to cost cuts. Because remember, they don't love and look at our children like we love and look at our children.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's just weird to me when I hear so many black men saying that foolishness. I mean, to me, when you hear all, come on, not trying to be rude, but shit, half of them didn't raise their own kids anyway. I mean, that's just the truth. Shit, I know. And a lot of times
it's
the
never
women are stuck raising the kids anyway. So
but it's never been a requirement. If you really think about it, it's never been a requirement. What has been the requirement that has always been said for black men? You said it earlier. Provision and protection.
Provide and protect.
That does not have anything to do with rendering children. That does not and have anything to do with actually building legacy. Like if we really start breaking it down, if you're only requiring your man to provide and protect, and that's his only understanding, if he just was able to like pay the rent 1 month and he was able to move you out of the street so you wouldn't get hit with a car, then that's literally him just doing his job at that particular time. That doesn't have anything about him being a caring husband, someone who doesn't curse at you, beat on you, don't beat on the kids, not a sexual deviant. Like the standards are in hell. And that's why women have to stop talking about, if they want to mate, that the only thing that he needs to do is to provide and protect. No, he needs to do more. There is other requirements that is a responsibility of you being a successful, healthy mate. Just like if he wants a healthy, successful mate as a wife or a potential wife, there's certain things that she needs to be able to do. Like, do you really want a waterhead female as the mother of your child? And I mean, a lot of these dudes, They have sex with women who they don't think is bright, because that's the reason why they was dealing with them, right? Because they felt that they were easy, gullible, and manipulative. They were manipulative. They could manipulate them, so they were gullible and naive. But they had sex with this woman. They got this woman pregnant, and then they wonder why, if they thought this woman was dumb, why their child might be having problems in school, why their child has a behavior problem, or things of that sort. Like, but see, they're not looking foresight, right? They're not looking for the future when they do certain things. There's a reason why you should be looking at a particular person when you're laying down with them and trying and potentially can bring children in this world. But we're not going that deep because everything is supposed to be a selfish, emotional transaction.
Yeah, and everything that they really preaching for the men for how to look for a woman is just strictly on her looks and her being a robot, submissive, can't think for herself, and she got to let you be the leader. And what if you're wrong? I was on Bomb thing, and she was telling this guy gonna say, well, what if your husband and you were going on a road trip? Let me ask you and Kira this. MJ, you and your husband is on a road trip, and you got the map and you giving him the directions, So he said, no, I want to go this way. So that way it's going to put you out 4 hours, right? So what would you do? Would you let him be the man and he the leader and he drive you out in 4 hours out the way? Or would you argue your point and say, no, that don't make sense? We need
He's
to
gonna
go
be
this
going by his damn self. You know why? If he's adamant, if I tell him a suggestion and he's adamant to take that very long route, he's going to be going by his damn self, because my father taught me, don't let no waterhead lead you off a fucking cliff.
Exactly. What about you, Kira? You're going to be that good wife. See, Kira going to be the good woman. She going to go them 4 hours, and then she going to take and say, that was such a nice drive. Thank you, baby.
She always trying me. She know good and damn well I'm the last one she need to be telling me, if you don't get out of my face and take this next exit and quit playing with me, talking about you gonna go 4 hours out your way, you ain't gonna waste my hours of my life. You out your damn mind. Shoot. You better hope I don't kick you out the car and put you somewhere stranded and I drive off with the car.
I'm telling you, girl. See. But that dude, remember they had that old saying, if your friends somebody tell you to jump off a bridge, you gonna do that too? It's like, yeah, no, that's not how we should operate in real life.
Yeah, I believe that, I think it's a give and pull, right? Because, like, let's say if it was something that, like, I weighed out the options, he weighed out the option, he felt that this option was the better outcome. And even though in my hearts, I believe that my option is better, if I'm willing to give that give and pull, I'll be like, all right, let's do it your way, because maybe he needs to see that maybe it wasn't the best option. But that's something that, it's gonna you have to play it by ear, right? But that's not something that you do consistently. That is not something that you do consistently, because I get it. It would be kind of hurtful if you feel that the man that you're with, if any advice or suggestion that he gives to you, you automatically say no, then you really have to look at yourself, because you're not right all the time. You're not right all the time. So if you don't know how to give a little leeway and go back and forth and allow that to happen so y'all both can grow, make wrongs and grow together, then it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, because y'all both going to always fight for control. And it's not about fighting for control. It's about whoever is better at something and it moves us forward, do it. Whoever is not better at something, yes, you're going to learn, but also, let's move forward. You're going to get better at it. You're going to learn from your mistake. You're going to grow from it. Like, I don't understand this concept where a lot of people don't want to grow in their relationship. Like, what is the point of being with someone and not being able to grow with them when You will grow by yourself. You're going to learn the easy way. You're going to learn the hard way. You could do that by yourself. You don't have to do that with someone. So I don't understand, why is that like a taboo situation when it comes down to relationships between men and women about making mistakes and growing together. I don't understand it.
Exactly.
I don't
And
understand it
I'm with
either.
you. It's give and take. It
It
might be
is.
sometimes that you're both guessing at something and you say, well, I don't want to do this. And wait, this one, he want to do it. Sometimes you're gonna go, okay, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're both not really 100% sure, sometimes it work out for the best, sometimes it don't. That's not something I
Mm-hmm.
would throw in nobody's face because you both really didn't know. But if I'm assured and I'm 100% positive, no, you're not leading me no wrong way. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Koja Malik said it perfectly. Like, it does depend on the situation. And I'm with you. I'm never gonna let any man lead me into poverty or homeless.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is ridiculous, especially when I didn't come to that situation or that relationship homeless or in poverty. There's no way.
And
There's
this
no
is why I encourage women to stop thinking. Because this YouTube stuff, when I came on, it was like, oh, I don't want to work. I want the man to be the sole provider. Let me tell you something. That is how a lot of women back in the day got abused financially and
Yeah,
physically and everything, and had to take men that was cheating on them and do all of this here
yeah.
because
That's
they
why they want
had
to go
no
back to it.
resources to leave and all of this here. Let me tell you something. And I noticed people might not agree with this. My father always told me to have an account of my own. You have to have resources. You have to have savings. You have to have money. Now, will I use that money for my family if we need it? Of course. That's 100% without a doubt. But I always believe in putting money and storing money up for rainy days or if anything happens, right? But if you are solely dependent on somebody, and unless you have an arrangement to where you have so much money that you get that you can actually put something to the side for rainy times or something, I would never, ever do that. I would never suggest for a woman to do that.
Let me ask you a question, Lima. With your
Hmm.
husband, did he have a problem with you stacking money for yourself or even for your child or for like emergencies? Did he ever have a problem with you doing that? Did he feel a kind of way? Because I know that he was pretty much like a provider for your household, even though you worked.
Let me be honest with you. He is, and I think he kind of felt like that because of my father of a situation, but uh early on in our marriage he refused to let me pay any bill inside the house. So now I told you the first big thing I really did was buy him a brand new truck, right? And he was like trying to even pay me back for that. I'm like, hell no. But so far as that's why I've always had the opportunity to keep my money as my money because I think we had got into something, and my dad was like, "Hey, if you can't do provide for like I did, send a home." And so after that, we were a very young couple married, and after that, he didn't want me paying any bills in the house, and it's still like that to this day. Even though his money goes into our joint account, and I pay all of the bills out of that, my money goes to a separate account. However, I will say this here. I will gladly use it for my kids, for him, for whoever. I don't feel like it's a selfishness. Some people hear that and they think I'm being selfish. It's not that. It's not that because I pay everybody car notes. I pay my son car note, my daughter car note, and my husband truck note. I pay every. So yeah, no, he's never had that problem.
It's not selfish. I don't know.
No,
Like,
it's safety.
it is right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're in a union with someone and this person says that they love you beyond all means, they made the
Hmm.
commitment, they made the vow, they married you, why would they want you to pretty much be destitute if they decide that this relationship no longer works for them anymore? What person who really cares about you wants you to be asked out if they remove themselves from you, if you no longer have access to them?
Yeah.
The only person I see who will want that is someone who is a narcissistic, someone who basically lives their life around control of abusive control, right? Especially financially abuse. Like they want you to have no way out. Like that's the whole point of having security. I mean, if you really look at it in history, even before the fathers used to sell their daughters into marriage, the woman had to have a dowry, right? She had to have some type of money, some type of to bring into the relationship. Now, mind you, yes, it went to the man, solely to the man once she married them, but there was a point of time when the woman, when she was like the only child and she came into wealth because the father had established something, that she had money to the side just in case if the marriage did not go well. Like, where is this woman going to live after if the husband decides that he no longer wants this marriage? Like, is she now supposed to live out on the street? Is she now supposed to become a prostitute? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this the life for her? Like, this is someone who became married. The husband no longer wants her anymore. No longer likes her or whatever. Not he's not enjoying her company. Now she's supposed to sell her body for access. But then if that's the case, then what is such a prideful thing about being married? If the husband or whoever you marry can take that title away from you, and now you are basically lowered down to the point where you have to sell your body for food. Like, so like I feel that a person who really loves you will always want you to be good. And it's vice versa, because I would never be with a man where I would want him to give completely everything that he doesn't have anything for himself if the relationship goes sour. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I care about you as much as I say that I do,
Exactly.
you need to be good if you're with me or without me. And we need to create a situation where we're both good, whether we're in this relationship or out of this relationship.
Yeah, and I think that any person who don't want you to have access to money or saving money, that to me is abusive too.
It is
Because
abusive.
I think that a lot of people think of only cheating or physical or something like that, but there's a such thing as financial abuse. You need to have. Listen, your kids are going to go off to school. Even if they get scholarships, those dorms are not. Listen, if they want to live on campus, a lot of the scholarships my kids got did not cover the room and board. So that was good money that you can pay off in advance, or even when they got their first apartments with a roommate. You could pay off that. You know, you can pay up 6 months of their rent. So I mean, it's not saying that you're stashing it or hiding something, but yeah, I think everybody should have their own money put aside and also have a family account, a family savings account. So I mean, I don't know. But no, if any man trying to lead you into anything to where they are, I had a lady I used to work with. She told me that she worked and her husband would give her an allowance, girl. Now that I just never could understand. So I tried to keep my peace, but it's no way that you work and you get an allowance. That just doesn't make sense to me. But
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I only see
mhm.
that situation happen if that if that man knows that she has
A
a
spending
spending
issue.
problem. Like a
Hmm.
spending problem.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
just
maybe.
like,
alcoholic. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just like how you even have those men who go to the casinos and they literally throw their whole life spendings at the casino because they think they was gonna win, and they don't go home. Like, when I used to go to Atlantic City in New Jersey, there's a whole bunch of homeless guys and stuff out on the beach part. And when I actually went up and spoke to a couple of them, they literally stayed, they've been there for months because they spent their whole life savings. They put up their house, they put up their car, and they have nowhere to get home. And also because of the their pride and their ego, right? They wouldn't call their family members, they wouldn't call their wives. Some of them been out there for years, have children, because they made a very poor decision. They spent their children's school money, like all that. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's yeah. Now maybe she never told me, that she had that problem. Maybe that's why I don't try to judge, but for me, no, no. I wouldn't ever. I always have a thing of lack of control. I have to have some type of control, or even with my kids. Yeah, my daughter, I'm so amazed and proud of her credit score. But you know what? Her credit score is so awesome. Guess who paid her credit card?
You.
Yeah, we make sure it comes to the house. I make sure because I don't want them to have a lot of the problems that I had, young. And so, unless they're being just outrageous, sometimes I call and tell them you got to pay me back, but a lot of times I don't. But yeah, you're gonna have to look out for your kids, and as long as they're doing right, it's a good thing.
I
Mr. Cat
agree.
say ends ain't no damn good. No, it's not that we're saying that. What we're talking about is this rhetoric that Kanye West is saying, right? It is really Nazi KKK talking points. And it's like a lot of the men here on YouTube are really agreeing with it.
But yes, they're falling into the plot, and they don't even know it, because what's going to happen is exactly what happened with the white manosphere and then the black manosphere. The white manosphere was the first ones who came, MGTOW and all of them, they were the first ones who came out talking about women. They never referenced white women, but we know that majority of white men
Yeah,
date
they were
their
women.
right?
Yeah,
So
but
they
they
was
were
talking
smart with
all
it.
that horrible shit
Mm-hmm.
about white women, we know, right? But they said it was women. When the black manosphere came on, they specifically made it their business to say black women. It didn't help that a lot of terrorist attacks with black women losing their lives, they come to find out, and they check their Facebook page and stuff like that they were fans and subscribers of black manosphere social media accounts, right? So guess what? Who's on the terrorist list? Who's being watched by the CIA? Who's being watched by the FBI? It's the black manosphere, not the white manosphere, even though they was the initial ones who started the whole save yourselves and men going their own way and all the stuff like that. But it's your black ass that is on the terrorist watch list. And Kanye is doing the same shit all over again, because in the past, all the anti-Semite rhetoric was white people.
Yes,
People were Christian.
yes,
But
yes.
now Kanye is about to make black people the anti-terrorist people of the Jewish community.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and they're on. When I mean that they're on watch, I know I have my sources. I can't talk, but I get the alerts and all that. They're watching for black people terrorizing the Jewish community. They're not watching white people who do it, or who's the ones who doing it most of the time, talking
That's
about
the
bomb
thing.
threats and stuff like that. And Kanye dumbass is now making black people, or especially black men, the poster boy of anti-sentiment.
And do
Oh
y'all
no,
know
they
all
trying to
this stuff
separate us
in the
within
chats
media,
and
so
all
it's
of this
eventually just
stuff?
going to be black men.
All the stuff that's in the chats and on Black Twitter and all of that they hyping this man up for, all this stuff is being recorded by the government. And they are watching these profiles. They were listening to his rhetoric. And Trust me. Like I'm telling you, they're gonna start some extremist. Something is gonna happen, and they're gonna start locking these people up. You know, I can't even think of the thing, but Obama signed that bill. It's HN something, where if you are accused of being a terrorist, you can be held indefinitely, and that is without being convicted. The word was accused.
They've been
You
doing that.
you can be held indefinitely.
Most of the people, most of the kids and men that are in Rikers Island in New York City have been sitting in Rikers Island for about 10, 5, maybe even 15 years and haven't even seen a judge yet. They've been
Yeah,
doing that.
Yeah,
yeah.
they've been already doing it.
That you do not have a right to a lawyer. You don't have all of the rights that you normally would have had if you get labeled a terrorist. And these men thinking this is funny. It's like
What does that
you
sound
don't
like though,
you don't see
Mew?
this shit happening.
What does that sound like though, Mew?
And you know what? It's like the
Doesn't it sound like a
1990.
slave?
Yeah, it's
It sounds
like
like
the
a different nigga.
1994 crime bill. When I look back at all the tapes and all the black Congress was pushing for this higher crime thing, right? And the higher sentencing for crack, right? And they thought they were doing it to help. And it's the same way I'm looking at it now with these here, people talking, spreading this type of hate speech. They thinking this is helping, but no, you're gonna suffer greater. You're not gonna get. You're not gonna have the same, slap on the wrist that they would give these people who ran into the White House on January 6th. It's just not gonna happen for you. And I don't understand why you can't see that they're planning something way more heinous for your ass.
It's the reason why it's not gonna work is because you can't it's like, what's the word? It's like biting the hand that feeds you, right? It's like you giving, and I hate to use this analogy, but it's like giving a dog a couple of meats, right? You give him a couple of meats, and then now he gets used to getting meat. And then one day you don't have meat for him, and you give him a bone, and he snaps at you. What usually happens to a dog that snaps at his owner? The owner beats the shit out of him,
Yeah,
right? The owner makes sure that he never snaps at him again. And this is the problem, is because you cannot continue to want to be in this system and then still say that you want to fight the system. You have to make a decision. You cannot benefit for what the system provides for you and then also say, no, I want to tear the system down. They're looking at you like, obviously you're not that upset about the system because you do enjoy the certain things that you get from it. So
yeah,
if you're going to show, if you're going to look confused, or you're going to look like you don't know what you want, it's not going to work for you. They're going to find a way around it, and they're going to put you they're going to give you far less, and they're going to make sure they give people far more, because that's what we see most of the time anyway, where we fight for certain things in laws, politics, and stuff like that. Everything benefits everybody else's community except ours, but we was the one who brought it to light. We were the one who brought it to light, but we cannot get the same treatment for the same laws and policies that we fight for, right? We can't.
yeah,
But we the ones who brought on the whole hate crime bill, who was the first one that was able to utilize it correctly. Asians. And who did they utilize it against? Black people who was
black people.
attacking Asians.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
Kosha.
Hey,
hey,
Koja.
Kosha. I just want to
Hey,
say this. The
y'all
thing is,
have a
I just don't want my kids caught up in this shit. I'm gonna be honest with you, because the more I think about, how they're setting up a bad look for black men. Listen, I have black men, and I do not want my kids caught up in this BS. And this is the reason why I be saying they really need to stop being followers and start being leaders of their damn self and have their own mind. And not every damn thing a celebrity say jump on a bandwagon
you
because he a
paid
black man.
have you paid attention to what Kanye looks like? If you go and Google the old photo of the Unabomber when he had on that hoodie, and this how Kanye be presenting himself. It's like a couple of pictures of the actual uniform. And have you seen that Kanye always presenting with that hoodie on and them chap lips and stuff? He is
Hmm.
actually going around giving what if you it's a couple of pictures out there. I was like, why he always looking like this? He is going literally looking like the if you look at from when he was doing, and I was like, is this purposeful? What is it? Because they like the black man is the face of sex tourism now. Even though I remember in the late '80s, I want to say early '90s,
It
it
was
was
white
white
men.
men.
Hmm.
It was also down there the look of homegrown terrorists. Even though we saw what they did, this is the reputation they're building, and I'm trying to see is Kanye serving a social purpose of looking like this because they know other people will follow or whatever. But he literally looked like that combination of the uniform. It's like I told my husband, he was like watching Predator. I was like, Predator based on a crab. He was like, no. I was like, you don't see the similarities? And he's like, no, I never looked at it. But it's a way that he's presenting himself that's really odd that make me thinking, and maybe that's my inner conspiracy theorist. But if you get a chance, look at and when he had that Balenciaga mouthpiece in and stuff, and how he presented in general. And I wonder if it's purposeful.
That
'Cause,
Balenciaga mask is something that I heard that basically
well,
what they had
no,
his
it's a
daughter wear.
mouthpiece he used to have in on some pictures. It's a mouthpiece he has there. He has a hoodie on that photo and everything on it. And I love me a hoodie. But
Mr. Kev is
and I'm
trolling
saying,
us,
is he
y'all.
trying to set the fashion trend for black men? Because he looked like like people jokingly say he looked like the Gordon Fish man and stuff. But that is a certain image it conveys when you go to looking at people who. And I'm wondering, is it intentional? Is he being used to market that towards people? It's just something that was in my mind, and it might be off the wall, but.
I'm not even giving him no excuse to say he being used. He's just a sucker. And
Oh, he's
you know what?
volunteering
He
because they know his
volunteering.
presence for black, know how black people follow him.
No,
I'm not saying
and
use
he
in it.
wants to be accepted though
He's
so
volunteering.
bad by that right wing KKK party. He wants to
Wasn't
be
Hitler a Jew?
accepted. Yeah, and his mom was a Jew, so yeah, that made him a Jew. But Kanye wants to be accepted by these people so bad in the alt right that he is willing to turn into Nazi. But um, Hitler didn't like nobody but white people. He only liked Aryans,
He was a
and
self-hating Jew, like
yeah,
Kanye, a self-hating nigga.
and I don't know
And
why these men are uplifting what Kanye is saying as if he's dropping bombs, he's dropping jewels, he's a genius. He is not a genius. He is like the anti. He's a listen.
when they say Donald Trump is a poor man's idea or version of a rich man, and there's some dumb niggas out there. When you dumb and something like you in school, and he know how to multiply double digits. Oh, that nigga is a fucking genius. If you dumb, he probably would seem smart to a dumb person. And these
Mm.
men logic and they rationale and thinking skills. I ain't saying all of them, but it's a bunch of them. It's poor. It's poor. So
Mm.
he looked like they sound smart to them. He do. So it was
He
just,
sounds hateful to me. That's what he sounds. He sounds very hateful. And I'm gonna just tell you this here. A lot of people have issues, and to me, I just think is they jealous of them Jewish people. Because if those people, everywhere they go, they start running and owning these countries that they live in. Um, I
imitate them.
remember, yeah, imitate them. Won't y'all figure out what they're doing so we could do it, so we could be
The
better.
blueprint.
What you
But see,
want to
those
be?
people are different. Have you ever noticed how, like, my Hispanic friend, she was married to a black Dustin. She been in the military. But her family Them people live in a two-bedroom project house. He moved down with his wife and I think 3 children in a two-bedroom project house. It was her and her daughter. She let them stay there and they got along. They got along. We don't do that as Black people. We don't practice community. And I know we can't practice community building with everybody, but we don't even see the vision of incremental progress. It's like if we can't get something in one action, we don't have the tendency to work towards incremental progress. And hey, let's do it step by step. We think everything you got to do one action. If you can't get it in one action, we don't have the motivation to stick to it. That's what I have seen. Not all of us, but
I'm just wondering, why don't we, what we do have with the amount of resources that we do have, why do we not keep up what we have, right? Why do the hood has to necessarily be the hood? Why can't the hood be a great place to live, and instead of it having to be gentrification? Because it seems like with the
when we
Black,
get there,
we wait until gentrification comes for our community to look good and to be good or to be decent. And normally when gentrification comes, that is when that particular community or county is preparing to remove the people that have been residing in that area out and replace it with new money, new industry, new jobs, people who are actually going to take out loans to create businesses in that location. Like, for example, like I was raised where Trump was raised at. I'm literally not that far away from his childhood house. And my father moved in this area back in the I say about the 1970s. A lot of Black people moved in this area. And when we moved in this area, a lot of white people moved out. They moved out because they thought that we was going to bring down the property value of the area. However, every Black person that moved in this area are very successful, well-off people. Most of them are in the military. Most of them are in the medical field. We have lawyers. We have doctors. Everything, right? So a couple of years back, we didn't drop the value of the community. So now, instead of when the white people, I guess, when they saw that the property value of that community did not go down, for the past 10 years they've been moving back. And that's especially a lot of them who used to live in Manhattan, because what a lot of people don't know, Manhattan is sinking. So that's why a lot of people are moving off Manhattan, because it's its own island and it's actually sinking every 3 years, sinking. So they're actually moving, and that's why they're trickling back into the other boroughs, like Brooklyn, the Bronx, and things of that sort. But they started moving back within 10 years or so. They started moving back to 10 years or so, and now they're here more than they ever was before, especially when I was growing up. Because when I was growing up, I majority always just seen the people that was in the community was Black. Everybody who lived here was Black. Everybody here was like, successful business people and stuff like that. And now we see everyone. We see the Muslim community is here now. We have a strong Jewish community here now. And then we have a strong Pakistani community that's here. So like I said, like, why don't we do that in the areas that are deemed quote unquote low income, poverty stricken? If we literally maintain it before gentrification comes, even if we decide to leave, even if we decide to go somewhere where there is more jobs available for the youth that's in the community, so they don't have to only have to work at McDonald's or work at some franchise or something like that. If we find the ability that they can have other opportunities for better paying jobs, at
I
least.
think they're
Yeah.
I think we're following somebody else's template and we don't think for ourselves. For example, I was reading something about household net worth, and these white people, they had like 600 or 700 and some $1,000 But we're so in a rush to prove ourselves that we don't practice things, and we shame each other for it. For example, then she was like, yeah, the lady lived with her husband and her adult kids. Neither one of them are married. All of them was bringing in money, but they all contributed. And it's like, it's nothing wrong with your kids still living at home. Actually, it's an actual great thing to do to actually build wealth, instead of, if it's two sets of kids, two kids, why are they all out paying upward of $1,000? I'm just going to say $1,000 a month rent outside of the home, when you could contribute a little bit, pay off that family home, and be saving money in a or investing in a business or doing something. But we shame people for doing that, and it's a difference between a pookie, and I'm gonna just say pookie, that live, because that's the stereotype, that live in the house and don't do nothing, and now your child is a contributing adult, and y'all building family wealth, generational wealth, and doing things. They're different. But we listen to people like, oh, I would never shame anybody. Oh, you live with your mama, but are you living at home, and are you a contributing member? Do y'all have a plan? Are y'all investing and things like that? And we listen to other people's narratives, and we are not self-thinkers, I think.
I definitely do believe it depends on the family, and it depends on the family circumstances, because I
These white
understand.
people out here, I'm gonna just say this one part. This man say he own a couple of acres, not like a couple of acres, like 60 or 70 acres. He say don't nobody live on his land but him and his family, and all of them have their home. Now everybody not gonna want to stay under their family like that, but that's how they do it. There's a couple of people, like my coworker, that literally that's what they did. I'm from a small town and stuff, but that's what they do. But it's the black community here in the area. I don't live there because I live out with the rednecks, but what other black people say. But that's what they do, and that's how they're able to do it, instead of all of us going paying $3,000-$4,000 a month rent or whatever. They're doing that. That is one way. It's not the only way, but I saw the benefit of that
No,
portion.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Let me just shout out to the chat real quick. And Mr. Cam, please stop your trolling. Anyway, I want to say one to Brownie Ellie, one Trinity time travel show. What's up, King Shanard? Sugar Bum. Mwah. Smooches. HT Baldwin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My sister Incognito was in the building. Just me. One, sister, just me. Let's see who else. Kosha Malik up here on the panel. Care 504 is trolling us hard today, y'all. He is in a funny mood today. Mr. Devastating is in the building. Devastating for you.
Hey,
What's up?
Devastating.
We have Andrea W. Yes. Sister Noble. Wow, Sister Noble. Yes, girl. Kev say Pookie just slanging D. Leave him alone. Y'all, I can't play with him. But no, I mean, this is just a beautiful conversation. I'm so glad you ladies came up, because you know what? It is it's to me, and I know I'm not male bashing, Mr. Kid. It just seems like women, we can look at all sides of a story or a situation, right? And we can kind of give a different perspective, and not just jump on every damn bandwagon we hear. And it just seemed like these men who are saying this guy is so good and what he's saying is the truth. And this, y'all, history should not keep being, especially horrible history. Why would you take Nazi and KKK talking points and think because they're not saying it toward black people, because they're saying it toward Jewish people, that is a good thing? I mean, I can't fathom how smart these men really believe. If they believe they're so genius, repeating this shit. But Kira was talking about Amiri Brown. Do y'all know who that is?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
he like some basketball player? Like he was like he used to play ball and then now all he does is like a podcast on YouTube.
Well, I know he do a podcast. I didn't know he used to play
Oh no,
ball,
no, no,
but
no.
yeah.
I know who she's talking about. No, no, no. She's talking about the bust. Kwame Brown, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Kwame, you're right. Okay. No.
Yeah, no, this is another this man named Amiri. I don't watch his show a few times. He have good shows. I just really haven't been able to keep up with a lot of YouTube lately. Because yeah, I know I sell my Medicare insurance, and it's open enrollment. So I just really, even when I get off of work, I'm really busy trying to get that done. And I'm a loan signing agent. So a couple times, I be a week I try to go do
Girl,
the
YouTube
home
don't
refinancing.
pay you. You got to go where the money reside and make your money.
Yes, girl, because I want to early retire from working for the schools. I really do. So I'm trying to figure out which other career is going to pay me decent. So I've been trying to open up. I have those two little side businesses that I do. So yeah, I be missing a lot on YouTube.
And
And
it's
if
one of
I
the
am,
reasons we need
mhm.
universal health insurance. When they was talking about, during the elections, well, that's one of the things that keep us tied into a job for some of us, that you need health insurance. But if we actually had the universal health insurance, it would free us up to do more entrepreneurial ventures, because you wouldn't be, you know, tied into working 40 hours a week to obtain health insurance for a lot of people who have it.
Hey, y'all, can everybody come in and hit that like button for me, please? It really do help. And I just want to say thank you for anybody who shared my thing. I've been noticing, I've been getting a few people who sharing it, and I just appreciate that. So
But Mule, go to my channel when you get a chance and take a look at my little one video I just did. I ain't got but 197 subscribers.
Oh, you did a video and you didn't
the
even know
only
you
I
time
had.
just
I
did it a
viewed
couple of
your
days
video was
ago.
gardening.
I do, but just go. It's only like 2 minutes, so if y'all go over there and just take a look for 2 minutes. Not right now. When you get a chance later.
Okay.
How
That's up.
you not tell me you had a channel? Now I understand how Mew feels.
Yes, Coach have her gardening channel, child. She be out there with the pot. She be out there with the bulldozer moving stuff.
Girl, I ain't been
Koji,
out there in a while.
You out of line. You had a channel and didn't tell nobody.
I thought y'all knew. Yeah, I got a
It's
channel.
my little brother Moo.
Hey,
It's
Momo.
only it's only got a couple of videos, and I haven't done anything recently because I really haven't done anything around my house recently. But I just dropped the one the other day, so y'all can go and take a look at it. 2 minutes and give me a thumbs up, something to get me
Of
in the
course,
algorithm too.
yeah.
I'm gonna go over there right now. I'm going on my phone to try to find your channel. It goes by your name, right?
It's Koj Malik. It's Ojamalik. Koj Malik.
What's good, Moo?
Wow, what's up, the Mule University? How y'all doing? I've been listening for a while, man. Y'all been making some good points. I've been in the cloud, especially you, MJ.
Hey, Momo, what's going on?
Ain't too much, just chilling at the houses, just chilling at the house, listening. But yeah, first of all, how y'all doing?
Doing
I'm
good.
good.
How
And
you
how's
doing?
little
How that
Momo doing
baby?
Momo doing?
good. I hear a baby. Is
I
that the
hear her too.
baby?
Yes.
Look at little Momo. What's up?
Oh.
What's up, man? You can't go outside.
He looked like he rough and tough and all that stuff.
Yeah, he is. Hey, look, now that you said outside, he done grabbed my hand and finna try to drag me out
I
there.
knew it.
But now I was gonna say, you know what? Has been lost. A lot of things kind of been lost are not mentioned in the conversation with like Kanye and stuff like that. One of them is I've asked several people what they J2, we ain't going outside right now. Okay, we can walk outside. But one of them is I asked people, I said, well, how or why do they control Hollywood? Like, how did it start? And they all a lot of them will go to some silly, oh, they did the blood oath and some old silly stuff. But the truth is, at the time, Thomas Edison, they had some cameras, like film cameras, but Thomas Edison perfected the movie camera. Come on, let's go. And over on the East Coast, and so he put a patent on it, and so you wasn't able to use a camera without having to pay Thomas Edison for his patent. And so at the time, the Jews were running the vaudeville shows, like kind of like, I guess, plays. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
So the Jews were running the vaudeville plays because, one, they were cheap, and white people wasn't interested in them, so they didn't care about them running them shows. And so at the time, Hollywood, that part of California itself, was mostly empty. And, you know, some stuff in there happened, but basically there was a lot of empty land. And once they broke up the monopoly that they had for the movie cameras on the East Coast, other people were allowed to use movie cameras and not have to be a part of Thomas Edison's companies or whatever. And so the Jews shifted over into making movies from doing the vaudeville stuff. And like I said, at the time, nobody was interested in it because, like I said, it was cheap and it was a lot of hard labor. And they were making clothes at the same time too. So when Kanye, so that leads to what the industry that Kanye's in as far as fashion. The reason why they into fashion so heavy is because they were making clothes back then when nobody else wanted to do it. And they had, you know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say what they did back then, we in the perfect position to do right now, but we just won't do it. Meaning, like, look at all the fashion directors, black fashion designers we have. And all we have to do is just buy from black fashion designers, because we have the people out there doing it, and they have the means to produce, and all we have to do is buy from them. But we have people like Kanye who, once they get the money, like you could have made a few black people rich just by working with them and their fashion. But you went to those people only to complain about them and say, well, they run that. Well, and if we're looking at it honestly, it's like outside of like we always like we look at everything kind of like through the lens of oppression, or somebody took something from us. And technically, those people didn't take anything from us. They didn't victimize us to get in those positions. And so the other issue with when we talk
They
about,
worked hard. They've been doing it for years. This is not something somebody gave them. They worked hard, just like you said. They would do. It's like that's how Tyler Perry became a billionaire. You know, he was doing all of those plays that they were mimicking, and black folks didn't see the value in it. But a lot of us black folks, especially in New Orleans, every time he came with a play, we was up there at the Sanger Theater supporting him. You know, and guess what? He took those plays on the road. He took those plays everywhere, and guess what? Then he got his own studio. He do movies. So you can build, right? And but it's wrong if somebody want to get angry because you accomplished something. You know, I think it just needs to be more of us studying what these people did, and we can do it too. What you think?
and see, that's the thing. And I was gonna ask, that was my question. If Tyler Perry was a Jewish man in his situation, and let's say they didn't already have Hollywood, what do you think would happen? Do you think that he would put his people on and they would build another Hollywood of their own version? They most likely would, but that's not what we do. if you in Atlanta right now, you have several studios. Tyler Perry's being the biggest one. His is actually the biggest one in like North America, or maybe even the world. So you have all of these movie studios and film companies out there in Atlanta, including Tyler Perry with the biggest one, biggest film studio in North America. Yet black people are sitting around complaining about Hollywood and this and that when we have the power and ability right now to create our own. And sometimes, like, we say that a lot, like we can do our own. That's not true in every case. Like when you say the NBA, when people say like, oh, we can have our own NBA, that would be a lot more difficult and not really practical because you would have
Not
to have,
really.
well, no, listen what I'm saying. You got to have like these owners of these teams are like 2 and 3 times over billionaires. They don't have like $1 or $2 billion. They usually have about at least $9 or $10 billion. And so
Yeah, but what I'm
so
saying
you
is, look at Ice Cube. He started the three-man league, right? And it's like black people, a lot of black people. My husband watches them, and he, pay for a whole membership for that to watch them on. But a lot of black people don't support that, and that is a way that he can have their own NBA leagues. You know what I'm saying? But we don't support. But when, to me, when black people are doing something, they just constantly shit on them. It's never good enough, right? It's just like I said, they always tease and make a mockery of Tyler Perry with the Medea plays and stuff like that. Instead of seeing what he's accomplished doing this work, they keep acting like Ice Cube is not a big enough thing because he have the three-man teams, right? But these are former NBA players that he's paying well on these teams, right? And they're not supporting it. But if enough black people just started going to those games and supporting those games, guess what? They would see that, okay, he getting the money, he getting the revenue, he would get a lot more sponsors, and he could
Yeah.
do bigger and better things. But we don't support it when it's us. We
I would
support
say
We
it
need
when
to go with Coach D, and then they could be a I mean, put Coach D and her majorage and put all that shit together. And I think we, kind of maybe combine a couple of things that we have saw, that became popular franchises, and add a little bit of this and that. Cause we'll go to, I mean, I don't like sports, but you add those different aspects of entertainment into like the halftime shows and this and that. You
well,
might create a new lane.
this
I'll
is this
say
is
one thing. Even though I respect Tyler Perry's basically determination to succeed and be better and what he has established, I do not, however, respect him using my image in a negative way and basically keep on using the stereotypes that's put on black women to make the type of money that he accumulated today. Because let's be perfectly clear, like the imagery that he used for black women and most of the movies that he is famous for, black women did not put paint in a good light. A lot of them is always being abused, and their spouse and their significant other is a black man, so he's showing black men, black women domestic violence. A lot of them be drug users. A lot of them be in some type of prostitution or selling their body type of situations too. So I mean, it's my personal thing. I can respect his hustle, but I don't respect how he's using his money, because my image is not for sale, and definitely not that negative stereotype. No, I
No,
don't.
I agree with you, but I feel like that with everything. It's just like my sisters, they love this show Power, and but we glorify all the stuff that just make us look so bad. Even I used to watch the TV show Empire. I had to stop watching that.
Yeah.
It's like it's always us negative, selling drugs, killing people. I'm tired of that image.
Because that's what, quote unquote, the people who actually write the checks, they would rather see negative shit than positive, because when we do have positive shows, they don't do that well, and we us personally don't promote those positive shows. We don't promote the positive music that's out there. Like,
Listen,
who is out here
who was the
talking about
last
the new
positive show that you
artists of
really
Neo
saw?
Soul? Like, nobody's
The
talking about the
only
new
positive
artists.
show I ever could remember for black people was the Cosby Show, and I'm sorry.
What
I,
about
I
Family
wouldn't say that.
Matters? Come on,
But,
Moo.
but look, hold
yeah,
on.
and Family Matters. You're right. Family Matters and the Cosby Show. What else?
Hey,
What
Mule, let
else?
me
A
let me say
Different
this right quick
World.
before we leave this, and we can go right back to it if you don't mind.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Before Because we was talking about the NBA. This is
Okay.
what I'm saying is the difference though. The reason why like we can do it as far as like have our own league, but the reason why it's not the same as the fashion industry or the movie business is because in practical terms, you wouldn't it wouldn't be it would be a lot harder to get off the ground and would take like generations to really work out. Meaning that you wouldn't be able to pay if black people started their own league. You're not going to be able to get the best players because you're not going to be able to pay them what the NBA is able to pay them. And the NBA already has deals with the arenas and stuff like that to host games. And on top of that, like it takes a lot to be able to have a league of that magnitude. So I'm not saying we can't do it, but I'm saying the difference between the movie business, the NBA and the NFL and stuff like that is that when it comes to movies, we are in a perfect position to do it. Like we have everything practical to do it, unlike the NBA. So that's what I was saying on that. I'm
I
not
do
saying we
agree with
can't
you
do
on
it, but I'm saying it'll be like with the movie business and the fashion industry, like we can flip it over tomorrow if we wanted to, is what I'm saying.
I agree with that, Mumu, because like even here, like
Yeah,
up
I
in the
agree with
East
that
Coast,
too.
we have the N1 tournaments. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Come on,
Yeah,
I'm a
right.
dude.
So right. So that was something that, that was something that we started, right? The N1 tournaments and the ones that we get
No,
sponsored.
that was actually started by white boys. That was
It
actually started
really
by white boys.
was. But I mean,
Yeah.
we're the ones who still using it. But what I remember when I used to go to those games, um, the they used to be those starters, like those stars that nobody knew, got them fresh out of high school or junior high school. As soon as they started getting the publicity, when they started putting them on channels, you're right. The kids, they actually started to, that was their way to get into the NBA. So even when it started to something that was just like in house and it wasn't that big and it was just something like a big event that happened every year, those younger players decided that they really wanted to move into the NBA and they would actually end up leaving. So you're correct, because they're eventually they're going to want to get more money, and if you're not paying them a certain amount, then they're going to move, so that's why I said yes, movies would be something that we can change the narrative going forward, and especially also changing the narrative of what we promote as the movies that we as the movies that we create. We have to stop promoting all the negative and the stereotypes that goes on into our community, and they get mad when everybody throws those stereotypes in our face. If that's the only thing that we want to show and display, then I mean, what can we say after that?
Well, I have a slight I agree with you and I disagree with you at the same time with Tyler Perry, because while I don't like his content for the same reasons that you naming, he also showed a lot of characters that exist in black folks' life. Meaning, like, that's why he got where he is today, as far as what he brought to the table, is because you wasn't seeing your old aunt who go to church every Sunday and was shouting and acting like that. Like Medea and all those characters, those are like based on real characters in black folks' life that wasn't necessarily being shown on television, whether they negative or positive. He was able to succeed in that way because he was like when my aunts and you know what I'm saying, like my cousins and stuff, they love everything Tyler Perry do because like they can identify with it. I was always like, man, this shit trash, but at the same time, I like creatively, I can't really say that like he did something so bad, because he did show a lot of characters that black
But
people
like,
really can relate to.
but we be wanting to put all that, but I don't know if you got to say keep it real. Some of that stuff is a true reflection. But when white, and I know we have to put other stuff out there because we don't have other, but they do the honey boo boos, and I know we can't do what they do. But yeah, I mean, not all
Right,
white shows are positive. I mean,
that's what
you
I'm
know,
saying, because like we have to, we have to be realistic, right? Because white people make a lot of movies and stuff that show all the negative shit that goes on in the community. However, because they're in the situation that they are in society, people do
they can
not look
afford
at
to.
Yeah, that people do not hold those stereotypes to them. They really don't. So with us, because we show our negative side of our community more than the positive side, people always gravitate to the negative stereotypes to us and nothing else. So
I
at
had a
the
white lady,
yeah, go ahead.
who worked on a job when I was a school nurse, and she was an LPN and I was an RN. She was older than me. She was in fifth grade when they desegregated schools in the small town I am. She was a little bit older than me, and we was having a conversation. Now, I've never really been in a real fight other than like two, I think, in school, like elementary school. Um, and she talking, she white lady. They live by different rules than us. And she was saying, we was having a conversation that we were talking about politics. She's like, "Oh, you're aggressive." I was like, "Lady, you carry a gun, and you have gotten into fights because we co-workers, just us two in there. We talk. So how am me sitting over here in a chair because I'm talking passionately about something makes me aggressive when you carry a gun and you got a gun in your car and you done told me about the fights. Now, when she talks about how her kids did some of the same things my kids done, her kids were older, they look different. I say, if you had to give a testimony about white black people based on your experience, the only thing what you could say, not the stereotype, is that you work in a place right now where you see black people, the assistant principal got a PhD, master's degrees. Your personal testimony is you work around a lot of educated black people that are not the stereotype. This school here is mostly black and it's mostly black teachers. I say so other people may be able to go and stereotype, but your personal testimony cannot be that. And they say, how you gonna tell people what the fuck? I said I could tell her easily. Bitch, you sit up here with me at work every day. When we go to the county meetings and stuff, because we work through the health department, eh, eh, you sit around with a room with just as many professional black people. So sorry, your personal testimony is you know a lot of professional black people that do not fit the stereotype of the welfare queen. And I think we have to have those conversations one on one with them when they try to do that.
But see,
And
this the thing too. There's a lot more, and I don't like. Well, I think that was MJ talking about Tyler Perry, right? Was that you, MJ?
Yeah, that was me, Mumu.
So I don't, like I said, I don't really completely disagree with that. I don't disagree with it at all. But I think there's a lot more diversity than we actually acknowledge or maybe admit to, because even if we look at like the other community, when we look at white people, they always being portrayed as serial killers, killing their wives, killing their husbands. Like they are portrayed as like terrible people a lot of times in movies. And black
Mm-hmm.
people are portrayed as great people in
Yeah.
movies too. But a lot of times what we do, like,
Yeah, always a villain and a hero.
yeah, like,
That's
and
that
so
would
Yeah.
make a
people,
good drama. A villain
yeah,
and a
and
hero.
look, people was complaining about that new Fresh Prince show because they said they showed black people being too rich. So it's
Right, but
like,
see, that's what I'm saying, Momo. It's like like I said, when they do those videos and movies and stuff where white people being criminals, serial killers, psychos, eating people, whatever, right? When people look at those movies, they're not looking at the movies as this is a white person doing it. They say this is a horrible person. But when it comes down to our stereotypes and things that go on in our community, it is always falls back on our race first, not the individual. And I feel that until we get a lot of shit in our community together, we need to do a form of censorship of what we're going to display out here, out to the world, to the rest of society. We have to get that under control first and then change this quote unquote narrative that they feel that we are all about. Like this is all that we are and nothing else and nothing more. And then later on, after changing it, then we can participate as, oh, now people, when they look at our movies and when they look at our TV shows, it's now look at these black people doing the same thing that I expect them to do is, oh, look at this horrible person. We have to, it's a mental thing. Because I
yeah, but
have,
we would only be doing it for the white gays though, and that's the problem. Like we can't, if we would, like I said, if we built our own Black Hollywood now, And I'm a writer myself. I write scripts and stuff like that. Like I said, I've sold one and I've been a part of different productions. And I've had meetings with some studios that wanted me to do some work for them, black studios to be specific, black studios that told me they only want like the negative content because I got a different type of writing style that they, you know, everybody, I'm a good writer, you know what I mean? So I can send you, if you send me an email, I can send you something to prove it. But they want me to do some other stuff for them, like some
Chuck and
more
jive.
negative. Right. So what I'm saying is, if you look at Tubi and you look at the movies out of Detroit, the movies out of Houston, the movies out of Atlanta that black people are 100% making, they're making negative movies about like, so what I'm saying is this too. I'm not saying that is all completely bad, like as far as like the movie being quote unquote negative. It's the quality of the movie that's the problem. Meaning like the movie is not good, the writing is not good, the story is not good. And to me, like I have more of a problem with that in Tyler Perry movies than like the so-called how it's making us look type of thing. Like in this movie Acrimony, my biggest problem with the movie is the dude's girlfriend brought him a $300 million check from his company. Like, on what planet is your job gonna give your girlfriend a $300 million check for you? You know what I'm
I
saying?
think everything is a growth process, to be honest. Like when we say about the Tyler Perry, there was a time when I really enjoyed that. It was a time when I really, you know, they have to have growing pains and they will progress to different levels. And everything that we do initially is not going to be 5 star. So there is a growing process and a learning process within it. And just like, you know, from the quality of his plays. I mean, when we used to get the little bootlegs, he did that. So we do see growth and stuff, and we do not only did we see growth, we did see him reinvesting in himself and up in his quality level. And I'm sure it will continue to grow. And I'm sure if we went back to some of those other houses, when we go back historically, all of that stuff wasn't 5 star. It's a growth process. And I'm sure he's going to look back 20 years from now if he's still living and say, oh, wow, that was so crappy back then. But oh my God, how we have grown. And everything is it's a growth process. And I think we need to allow for us to have that growth process. Everything not going to be 100% perfect, you know, and just recognize
Yeah, but see, but what I'm saying is though, that's why we can't get over the hump as filmmakers because we're not making great movies. And what I mean by a great movie is a great movie with a great storyline. Look, if you look back at the 90s, like in general, and I'm just not just talking about black people either, not just black filmmakers, but if you look back at the 90s, you had so many good movies come out. Nowadays, it's kind of rare that you're gonna actually have a good movie come out because it's just people don't care about quality like that. And so,
I I'm not a movie person,
well,
but I enjoy the movies that come out. Everything is not gonna be politically and socially involved. It's a range and a diversity of different things. Everything is not gonna have a message. Something is just a laugh from the gut and whatever. Something, you know, we like shade. We like a variety. I wish we had
that's not
a
crazy. That's not
variety.
the problem though. Like Friday is still better than damn near any movie. All the Fridays are probably better than damn near any comedies that done came out in the past 10 years. So I'm not talking about like the content as far as if it's so-called negative or positive or, you know what I'm saying, intelligent, whatever. I'm saying that in terms of like sitting down, watching a movie and coming away saying, damn, I really enjoyed that. You don't really have that as much as you used to is what I'm saying. And black people are not contributing or are contributing to just more bad or movies that are just not good. And what I'm saying is they doing that because they know they don't have to bring inequality to the table because they're gonna make the money anyway. But they're not smart enough to realize if you actually just sit down and make something of quality, you would have a better foundation, like something to build on, a better legacy, and therefore make more money in the long run. So when going back to like black people and what we doing, like Tyler Perry is not, he don't even work with those studios out in Atlanta. He don't work with he don't help none of those small studios out. He don't work with none of them. He does his stuff there, and other people pay him, like other Hollywood productions pay him to use his facility sometimes to shoot some stuff over there, whether they be full length films or even some scenes sometimes, because they use that White House a lot that he built. But um, if Tyler Perry was to say like right now tomorrow, hey look, I'm finna stop working with Hollywood and this and that, and people be like, well, that's his money, you messing with his bottom line. It wouldn't mess with his bottom line if he actually made a great movie, and that means by actually working with other people, another writer instead of himself that could write a great movie and then put the quality together with the actors and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot of stuff that go with it. What it boils down to is, as Black people, when are we going to just actually start doing the hard work of making something great instead of always saying people are doing us wrong when we have the means to do things for ourselves?
I have a long time childhood friend. He's just started his own studio. It's called Show Up Film Studio, and they've been going on for a while. They have a whole like series of I think the series is called like Project Heat. And the only thing about it is like I'm so happy for him. Like kudos to him, great job and everything like that. That's a big thing. It's just that his whole thing is like hood life, right? It's hood, guns, shooting, and drugs, and the bag and stuff like that. So like it's like yes, you want to support. I want to support, but then I don't support what what the shows are about. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to my character, I don't support that. I don't want that stuff in my community. And even though that is something that has happened or have seen happen or even known people that have been involved in that, I can't fully support someone who's basically keeping the narrative going, keeping the stereotype going. Like that's the only thing that that you feel that you can do good at. That's the only thing that you feel that you can act at, and that's something that you know how you lived your life all since you was in your 15, your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, and now you're well into your 40s going into your 50s, and like, and you're still portraying that. What I'm saying? Like I just don't feel it is a benefit for the community, for in the long run, even though him having a whole studio where he can hire more actors or young actors and actresses, is beneficial, but those are only for a small individual. It's not for the collective. I don't see the benefit in the long run from it.
It's hurting the Black community
I
that
agree.
bad.
I agree with you, MJ.
Hey, Mr. Devastating. Hey, Mr.
MJ,
Kev
what's up?
One.
Hey there, baby. How
Hey,
you doing? I was trying to
Hello.
help you out, Mule.
you was my troll, huh? I needed a personal troll today.
I was gonna turn it up for you. But look, I was listening to y'all, and one of the things I do agree, I don't agree with. I think that the small hat people did have. First of all, they just regular white folks to me, so they had a lot of advantages coming out of the slave trade. So they had a big ass jump start, and I think they do they're a big reason why we have such an image, dating back from the days when we had to be pimps and prostitutes to, even be in Hollywood. And the same thing when I hear some of these actors, why the black actors always got to put on the dress first, Will Smith and all that. They think that shit funny, but they had a head start on that, and they also had the funding. I want to ask old boy, uh, Moo Senior, that we're gonna call you Moo Senior. You think it's a budget issue when it comes to the filming industry? Because I know some of the, a low budget film. I mean, I know you can still make a good film, but a nice budget would definitely make a difference. But I do agree
Black
that
people got the money
Tyler
to make
Perry
a big
just pretty much stay in his
blockbuster
own
movie.
thing, and it would be nice if he worked with some people.
Black
Well,
people
I'm
have
gonna go back to what you said first about the Jews. This is the problem that.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Moo. Devastate was saying something.
Oh, my
yeah,
bad,
Black,
my bad. I thought it was finished. I'm sorry.
what's up, man? Yeah, I see you. Good looking out on the family. Seeing you right there. That's pretty decent on the weekend. But yeah, Black people got the money for production of a major Hollywood movie. They have the same
Budget.
amount, maybe not the same resources, but they got the money.
Well, yeah, I was gonna go back to who was that? Kill 504.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing about when we say the Jews, and this is the problem that they have, in which I can understand it.
Well, we call them small hats.
Well, even when you call them small hat, what I'm saying is this, and this is their issue with that. When you say they run this and they run that, it's like this. Those people in Hollywood that run a lot of those studios may be Jewish, but the Jewish people are saying they don't represent us, or we not necessarily connected to them. And so it's like saying like connecting all of us to Jay-Z and Oprah.
Yeah, I have some Jewish friends that say that too. You right?
Right. So that's what they saying.
All,
is like
all Italians are in the mafia.
Right. So it's a lot of poor Jewish people. It's a lot of you know what I mean? Like, it is.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, they got a lot of Jewish people struggling. But even though it's a small amount of folks, it still make a major ass impact when it comes to public appearance. Is all I'm saying with it.
Right, and that's because of what they actually do. And what I'm saying is like, if it's kind of hard. Well, it's kind of hard to make the comparison with black people because the problem with us is we always sell our shit. Like I could go to, you know what I'm saying? Like I could go to hip hop and be like in sports and stuff like that, and you see like, okay, it's way more black rappers that's prominent in hip hop. But when we do go to the ownership, it's a lot of Jewish people involved. And so that's not because it's like they got some sort of head start or got like they got this advantage over us. And I'm not saying that in general, like they didn't have better treatment here than us. I'm saying a lot of times the particular people in those situations really caught a good situation and rode that wave. And we sometimes like take that away from the situation, and sometimes I feel like as black people we kind of use it as an excuse to say, well, that's why we couldn't do it because they had this and that, when really that's not always the case. It's like sometimes people just really caught on to a good situation and did what they were supposed to do, hold on to it, keep it going, manage it right, work with good people, and it kept
family
going.
in.
Right. And so like if we keep saying,
we have to stop measuring ourselves by white people's standards, though. I think that if we don't do something, identical to what the white men do, or the they set up, that we view it as part or less. And we have to stop letting do stuff like when
you boiling a little bit.
Shows more, but can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better. That's a little better.
Yeah, it's better now, but you was breaking up.
You was bargaining a little bit. Go ahead, start over.
I think we need to stop. Like when we have an award show, they're like, oh, we shit on our own. And I know BET not black owned anymore, but we compare it to the level of the white shows. And it's like, fuck them and their Grammys or whatever fucking shows they have, the American Music Awards. We enjoyed it. And I don't care if it's not identical to the white people. We enjoyed our shit. Fuck them. And for us to stop letting them be the measuring stick to if we enjoy something or how it's done. And I think we tend to do that. We compare our stuff to their version, and we eventually try to mimic their version. But if we enjoy, so what? I don't give a fuck if I don't have the right salad, fork, or the this or that. We need to let their standards stop being our standards of if we enjoy our content.
Right. And I will say this, and I went where I worked at. I worked at Oprah Studios. It was called Blue Delta Productions, right? Now what she did is she have it where all the directors come in. It was all women, minority women, diverse women. They all got a chance to work on the show Queen Sugar, and then they get a little credit for it. That's a good idea. If you bring some other writers in and they can direct each scene you see in those shows is directed by different directors. But I do get what old boy was saying as far as writers, man. We need some more black writers and do a little more research where they don't have to tell our story. We could tell our own the way like Koja was saying, the way we know we like it. That'll be a good start. But I think the glass half full because I didn't know they had 3 studios in Atlanta. They've got one down here and they're about to build one in New Orleans East. And they got another guy talking about building one. So I think we're off to a good, decent start. But like y'all was saying earlier, we just got to support more black businesses. That's the advantage a lot of other cultures have on us. We just spend with everybody. We're the biggest spenders. So we can channel some of that funding to our own people. That'll be a great start.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm finna check out. I got to go into work, everybody. I enjoyed y'all, and I'm gonna be listening in the clouds. Y'all have a great night.
And
Okay, bye,
Obamacare's
Koja.
still out there, Koja.
Bye,
Huh?
Kira. Yeah, Water
Obamacare's still
Sniper. I
out there.
did agree with what you said.
Who's
I did
still out
agree with
here?
what you said.
Obamacare is still available too.
Yeah. We
I
are.
got it. I don't pay much at all, and my benefits are almost identical to my old UPS benefits.
Yeah. Right now, I got a job, so mine come through my job and stuff. But yeah, I wish as entrepreneurs, a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs to obtain it and stuff. But I'll check into it. But y'all have a good night. Love
All
all
right,
of
cool.
y'all, my YouTube fam.
Good night, Koja. Thank you
Bye.
for letting me know about the channel. I'm gonna look at it now.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna go watch the video too, Koja. Hey, Juan. Juan, what's good? Tech is fashion. Kira left. She's gonna cook her dinner. Wow, what's good? What's some over feelings? Yeah, but no, I just wanted to say this here. I do think that we do put too much pressure too sometimes on our own people. Like I keep hearing the men say, "Why every time a black man in Hollywood, they want to pair up and put him in a dress?" It's so many white men that have been in dresses, y'all, and I get what they're saying. Um, but I feel like that's part of comedy and it's been that way and they had it. I just think that we put a lot of pressure on our people to be so much of a high standard when especially when they're just trying to break into these businesses. Now the one thing I don't like, I'm gonna tell y'all that I've been seeing for the last couple of years, it's like every time it's a dark skinned black man, he's gay now. And I'm just wondering, like,
But
even I
that's
told you I watched the superhero show. I think it was called Immortals or something. But the one black guy they had in there, he was bad too. He was like he had a good role. He was the technology person, right? And he was building up these things. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah, I remember.
But
I
then it
remember.
comes to find out when they doing his past, they showing that he was married to a Hispanic man and he was the wife. I'm like, oh damn.
yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. But that's why we have to like kind of be mindful, right? Because of the simple
Yeah.
fact that when we do something in the situation that we're in, people look at it and they literally gravitated to our black identity. They don't just look at it as the individual doing it as entertainment. They don't just look at it for like putting it in context, right? Because like for example, like you were saying, Mew, Jim Carrey, when he first started out on, I think it was Mad TV, or no, Living Color, he was wearing dresses. When he did Ace Ventura, he was wearing dresses and acting crazy. And like
Yeah.
someone brought up, Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams. He wore a dress and he was looking like a woman and stuff, and many other men too. But you notice that even their imagery, even though they play roles where they was playing women, old white women, young white women in dresses, blah blah blah, it never stuck to them. That type of
Right.
stereotype
Absolutely
never
right.
stuck to them. However,
but that's because of black people though. But black people always emphasize that. When the what was that white boy that killed himself? Heath Ledger. When
yeah,
they
Keith
did that,
Ledger,
that,
yeah.
that when they did that Brokeback Mountain, and that was a star making role for him and Jake Gyllenhaal. White people wasn't saying every day, man, fuck them white boys. They gay. We not supporting them. They was then these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a gay movie. They didn't put on no dresses, but you know what I'm saying? Like so. They just went on, was able to do their careers. But imagine if that was Morris Chestnut and Taye Diggs kissing in a movie. Black folks wouldn't let that shit go.
No, no, we wouldn't.
That is true. That is true. I do believe that we are harder on our entertainers on certain things and are not the right things. I would say, because we do let our entertainers get away with shit that we shouldn't. But then the little other things that, like you said, if it's something that can break into a bigger motion picture, we pretty much condemn them before they even get there. So I do agree at one point, Mumu, with you. I do.
Nah, there's one area that I think that we have a lot of control over, but we still screw it up for ourselves, and that's in our music, especially rap. We don't have Missy Elliott and some of these other, Public Enemy and stuff like that. It's just straight gangster and thugging, So I think we have more control over that than what we release, even though that you may have Universal as a distributor, but we don't always have to keep it hood and thotted up like that. I mean, I don't mind. I love gangster rap, but I do miss some of the other stuff too. And Will Smith and Summertime and different, some rap with some ease. Everything is so hardcore now, and we don't have to be that way.
But that's because we gravitate what makes the most money, right? And we have our entertainers gravitate into what makes the most money. So if the quote unquote public is saying that they want to hear all that rada coochie kata, all that crazy mess, then if that's what's going to be a banger in the clubs or in the lounge and things of that sort, then that's what they're going to play to make, benefit their songs for them to get those royalties and things of that sort. So, I mean, it does have something to do with our community saying, hey, putting our foot down, we need variety. We need to have, sometimes we're going to be on that bullshit and turned up. And then sometimes we're going to be on that more positive, more motivational, more inspirational things that we used to do when we started these genres, because we kind of went completely away for what the genre of hip hop and R&B was actually even about. Like, you don't
it was more about a message when it first started out. They had a message, yeah.
Like, I was listening today, like, because I'm kind of old. I was listening today.
All our ass old up here.
I'm kind of old. I'm kind of cold. I was listening to what was that song? That famous song that was in House Party by by Full Force.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Hype.
Yeah.
So you saying the people went from wanting to have fun and dance, they wanted to party in the records.
Yeah.
They wanted, whatever the latest dance was.
Well, just think about it.
You saying the people went from that, and then what? Something happened, and are you saying the people want drill rap?
Yes.
Now,
I do believe that the people actually do want drill rap. I mean, these
really? I like drill rap, but I think yes, indeed.
What?
Yes, indeed, man. I'm a gangster.
A young person up here on the panel and say, "Hey, we want drill rap." That's what's going on in the street.
Miss Chazé like it too. Both of them like drill.
Miss Chazé loves drill.
I don't know why, but
it's not. It's just that we don't have the variety anymore to like. Because we could have. I mean, I like Mr. Scarface just like I like Missy Elliott. Doom doom doom. Like that. Right. And this is my thing though. Both they all made money. They all made a ton of money, even when it was diverse.
But to piggyback on, the reason why I brought up ain't my type of hype, right? Because even though that was a famous song in House Party and they was at a house party dancing it, right? If you actually listen to the lyrics, I don't even think a lot of people even knew what the lyrics were, because one of the lyrics was like act your age and not the size of your tight jeans. Like he was literally telling in that song, ain't my type of hype. He was like, I don't want you acting promiscuous. But we're sitting up there jamming and doing the butt and all that shit like that. But the whole song was about don't come off as being skanky, don't come off as being a hoe and promiscuous. And that was like a hidden way that they was trying to to put things out there like, hey, don't act like this, don't do this. That's not the type of girl I'm looking for. But it was a banger in a club. It was a banger when you went to parties and stuff like that. And I think we need to find a way where we could be strategic to do things like that again.
Right. I agree with that. That would be nice.
I agree with that. And I think it's one thing is a lot of times we don't really care what's in a song as long as it's jamming. And on top of that, the vibe was a little different back then. You know, even in rap back then, before the more of the what's now is mainstream. Like I said, a lot of rappers was rapping against drug dealing and killing each other and stuff like that. So the vibe was a little different back then. When House Party come out, like 91,
Yeah, it was
90 or
in
something
the
like that.
1990s. Yeah.
They sampled that song from another song though.
Yeah, but we need a good person like Lauren Hill, man. I mean we need, because Lauren Hill was telling you about hair weaves like Europeans, fake nails done by the Koreans, and girl, I had hair weave on my head and nails done by the Asians, and I was still jamming to that song. I mean, for real. And so I'm just saying we need a more of a balance. And that's the problem I have right now with the rap music. Because it's no balance. And it's really, to me, it just destroys our culture. It really destroys the youth kids' mind. The biggest song last year was what Miley Percocet. I mean, it's just
Really?
everything to entice
Probably
kids to
so.
go. Yeah, but to entice the kids to go do drugs and stuff. It's just
A
crazy.
pill?
Miley Percocet. Oh my
Yeah,
God, he was saying that song over and over.
they on them pills too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just everything now is to encourage the youth to do drugs, to be high like me, and everything like that, or to go kill somebody. It's just ridiculous,
Hey,
and
hold
there's
on.
no
Somebody got
balance.
to mute because it's an echo mute. Somebody got to mute.
Okay.
No, go ahead, mute. We was listening to you. I was saying it was an echo when you was talking.
Oh shoot, I had
Oh,
muted
that's
myself.
Deb.
I
That's
still
Deb.
did. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, now it's gone. Yeah, I was just no, but I'm just saying, we had a whole lot of thought provoking things, and even the R&B now is no love. What's the song by the weekend? I only call you when it's 5:30. That'll be the only time I ever call you mine. And these girls, like he, there's no love songs no more. There's nothing. And when you say hip hop and R&B is completely changed, it is changed for the worse. Our community is just going further and further down, and I'm just saying, like, either we're gonna what, jump off this ship while before it sink all the way, or are we gonna try to do something to change it? Because I just think us sitting around constantly complaining or seeing what the Jews have and what we don't have, and this. But if we take some type of a stance and say, you know what, maybe we should start boycotting these radio stations that's playing some of this music. Maybe we should start doing some things like that to say, you know what, we want a better image of ourselves being put out there. But um, it'll be so much negative coming towards the people who would try to do that, because they will see you as trying to stop black people from making money. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way it will be looking. It will look to other people as you're hating and trying to stop some black people from making money, when you just want a more balanced image. I'm not saying our image have to be all, Cosby family. No, I'm not saying that. But damn, we need some good times and Florida and James Evans. We need some good, family shows and family
Mhm.
matters.
I
We need
literally,
that. We don't just need empire and power and more drug shit. The
mhm.
Wire and all of this here. Everything is just negative about us.
Right.
You know, I
Okay, I'm sorry.
go ahead, babe.
No, I was just gonna say, and I agree. Like, I do miss those shows. I do miss like A Different World and Family Matters and
Mhm.
things of that. So I really do miss those shows because they were a big part of my childhood, right? And
Mhm.
even with A Different World, so many that inspires so many people to become teachers and stuff like that. When it had those black professors,
Yeah,
like when I went to
HBCU schools blew
yeah,
up.
when I went to junior high school, I had a black vice president. Okay, he was a vice president of the school, and he lived right under me. Like, I don't see when I went to school in college and stuff like that, I rarely see any black teachers,
Mhm.
anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them in there like how I used to see them when I went to junior high school and high school, and then even with my child being in school, I don't see that many Black educators the way I used to see them when I was growing up. And I don't think they don't have that motivation that they used to have to be an educator anymore, because they weren't making good money back then either, right? And the educators ain't making good money today, but they had a sort of self-esteem about being a part of, cultivating these children the right way. And even though like my generation, yeah, we had our goof troops. We had, we had our ones out there doing the bad things and stuff like that. But they all still have a sense of like, pride. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll be like, yeah, I might act stupid, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get that stupid. What I see with the new generation, they don't care about anyone, anything, nothing. If it's not what they want right then and there, they can care less. They will kill anybody for what they want right then and there. They will curse out anyone right for what they want right then and there. It's everything is so like, oh, I have to have it. And if I don't have it, it's like hell's breaking loose. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, I just feel that we have to find a better way where we can basically usurp what is already out there. We have to change it like from within, what people not even thinking that we're changing it. We have to just like turn it a different way.
Yeah, I literally was searching. There's absolutely no R&B or no kids music for my daughter to listen to. There's no ABC, New Kids on the Block, nothing like Monica.
The top 100.
They ain't got none of that no more, man.
Out of 100 songs,
I wouldn't say that. I would say because you do have K-pop. You do have K-pop out there, and I even though that's not.
You gotta go to another country.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. We consume things differently now as far as media goes. So even back to what MJ was saying, where she was talking about those older TV shows. And what I'm saying is you still have a lot of positive Black TV shows on, but they're on Hulu, Netflix, Prime,
you're right.
Apple. So it's like before you had these different types of streaming services, all you had was network TV. So everybody that was watching TV was watching one of a few things on a Friday night or whatever night it was. We didn't have too many choices. And so network TV is not like the biggest thing anymore where people consume, because now I don't know what shows are on there. Matter of fact, let me tell you, I just started watching How to Get Away with Murder. Me and my wife just started watching that. We've been binging that for like the past 5 days. I'm mad that y'all didn't tell me that show was so good, by the way. But so I just started watching. We just started watching How to Get Away with Murder, but it was on network TV for a long time, and that's just how much I have not been watching network TV since I've been able to consume media, you know what I mean? Like entertainment other ways. And so all I'm saying is the issue with us is that we have to stop thinking as consumers. And my question is always in dealing with this stuff is like, okay, who owns it? Who's making the decisions? And if we're not in the driver's seat, that's the issue with me. It's not even necessarily the content, because the content, whether it be bad or good, we gonna consume it. Like, it's gonna be consumed. It's never gonna be about like so much how bad it is. Like you can hear a song and a nigga can be talking about all kind of crazy stuff, but if you jam into it, you jam into it. And truth be told, like even a lot of the songs that we like, even when it comes to R&B, a lot of them songs are really crazy. Like a lot of stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you ever listen to that song, You Can Get a Piece of My Love? The dude sit there and told that woman, like, look, don't hush, no questions asked. I know it's some questionable stuff about me, but now that we here, we finna do this thing, and you shut your mouth.
Oh, what about Mumu? What about the song? What about the song "Ready or Not"? Just think about it. Listen to the words. Ready or not, I'll give you everything. That like, whoa, like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, Babyface and them was a fool, boy, with some of that shit.
Man,
I miss stuff like the Fugees and stuff like y'all was talking about. You know,
Babyface helped a lot of people coming up that didn't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And he also stole from a lot of people with LaFace Records, him and Pebbles.
He did.
Don't
They
forget he
did.
had
They
new
did that.
edition
I'm not
contract.
denying. I'm not gonna
Tony
deny. I'm not
Braxton,
gonna
or
deny.
none of them. Yeah, he
Yeah,
ripped
I'm
some
not gonna
people.
deny that.
Yeah, he ripped some people off.
I'm not gonna deny that shit.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, that's the thing, is that we have to start being in the driver's seat, and the reason why we'll be stuck like a Kanye, where you can have a billionaire, or who was a billionaire, because according to him, he was supposed to be the richest black man in the United States history at the time. But it's like you were able to get in that position, and a lot of it had to do with the people you were working with, meaning those same people you complaining about now. So
small hat.
yeah, but it's like we don't, everybody is not always like systematically oppressing us. And I think sometimes we don't know the difference between that. And in Kanye's case, he's a perfect example of, like, you were not being systematically oppressed. These people are basically saying, like, don't say this and that about us, and if you do, we not working with you. That's not the same as oppression, when you in a situation where you can have what they have if you wanted it, but you wanted to be up under them. You wanted to work with them. So don't get mad at them when they say, we told you not to say this and that about us, and you said it, so we'll holler at you. You can't say, oh, well, look how they doing us. Look how they doing us. If the same person that's saying that is the one that put them in a position to be the richest black man in the
The
history of
same ones you
America.
was working with. Yeah, I
So
get what
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, how can you be that and still be the victim? And that's how, and it's like we do too much of that, instead of like acknowledging, like, hey, here's a door, whether these people really mess with us like that or not. Like, let's learn how to do what we need to do to get where we need to go in dealing with these people, and stop crying about whether they like us or not.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if they like us or not.
Yeah, no,
They
that's
ain't
true
never,
though.
they ain't
That's
never
true.
going, they ain't gonna never
That's so
embrace
true.
black folks
Like
like that.
the title of the live is Kanye. Why Kanye's name never attached to anything to do with music in all these headlines?
Yeah, ain't that some shit? And he a musician. He a producer.
Just me. Do you sell CMC cut my cable TV?
I
Because
ain't
that's
heard
what
y'all.
I got. Cut my cable.
I
And
ain't heard
I have
y'all.
everything. And guess what? I barely watch TV. So
I told her about that, but I ain't heard y'all talk about a track, a concert, a show that was jamming. Uh, man, what happened, honey?
well, he's not even famous for music anymore. Now he's
Famous?
famous for his mouth.
Yeah, no
He's
shit.
famous for his mouth, for him saying off the wall stuff. And I just feel like really um us supporting that and giving him a pass, I just think it is really sending the wrong message. And I feel like it's hate speech. I mean, and it's jealousy. And this is the thing. He want black people, regular ass working class black people, to
Mhm.
be upset that these Jews ain't gave him a fair contract where he's benefited billions. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
he was
not
all that
sorry. I
whining for.
can't
Yeah.
cry for your. I'm not shedding a damn tear.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
you said he's sitting up here wanting everybody to be on his side and upset when he not doing a damn thing to help no black people. He
not
ain't
even that.
open
I
one
mean, it
grocery
was the
store.
audacity. It was the
Yeah.
Mhm.
audacity of recently he said that he apologized for saying what he said to George Floyd, but then goes right and have dinners and meetings and stuff with Trump and white nationalists. Like,
Yeah,
that
the
is
head of the
crazy.
white nationalists.
Because he didn't get the response that he wanted when he gave that fake apology about what he said about George Floyd. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I'm rocking with white nationalists. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so how can you even take him seriously? I don't understand how can anybody even support him at this point, because it has to be his way when it's quote unquote he wants to support, or if he wants to do something for the community, and really is all about himself. He just feel that the community is obligated to stand by him no matter what. No matter what he does, what he says, whether it doesn't have to benefit us at all, it just has to benefit him. And he's feeling that because it benefits him, that it's benefiting the community. There ain't no trickle down situation coming with this motherfucker. So I don't
Yeah,
understand
you're right.
why he thinks that. So
Yeah.
Hey, that's
But
facts. I 100% agree with you on that. And see, I
Bro, kid.
really look at, man, Master P gave niggas the blueprint on
Yeah.
how to, you know what I'm saying, on how to really get it and be your own man while doing it.
Yeah, be
Master P
independent.
gave niggas the blueprint, but we won't follow it. If they you know what I mean? Like we won't follow it.
I agree. I totally agree. Out of all of our successful entertainers and stuff like that, Master P was highly successful. Like I can literally say that he is a boss and he has always been a boss, and he has been able to maneuver and sustain and even grow his wealth, not even having to be in the spotlight. Like nobody been hearing anything really new with Master P, but he's been really making moves on the low and nobody wants to listen to him, but everybody wants to listen to the loudmouth, the figurehead. But now we find out that the figurehead didn't have no money because they stripped his goddamn $1 billion under 24 hours. So it's like, I don't know. We got to make better decisions on who are we actually following and not taking everything that they put out there as
wait,
concrete, saying like as
wait.
really what it is.
But listen, that was the one thing that Kanye said in that interview with Alex Jones that made me pause. He said the Jewish banks have confiscated his billions. Now, do y'all think that's true?
They didn't take his money, Mule. They told him he couldn't bank with them. They didn't take his money though. They
But
just
his
said he
money
couldn't
is
bank with
locked in
them.
those banks, right?
They got over 20 black banks in America. You can find a
But
black
his
bank.
money is in those banks. He said this. I don't know if it's true or not. But that
Right.
was
So
one thing he said in that interview was that they confiscated his billions.
Nah, they couldn't do that. Like if like
That's what he
Kanye, if
said.
he said that's crazy. Because like I said, he should have a hell of a lawsuit and should be naming who he's suing. Like the bank cannot just take your money because you said something they didn't like.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if that happened, that's unprecedented.
Yeah, or
Now,
he was in partnership, or unless he was in partnership with somebody and he bailed out on him.
Yeah, he was in partnership, and then you got to understand a lot of his money was advances, right? There were advances for the fashion that he was supposed to put out, so he was getting paid in advance before the product was even getting out. Now, if he's getting those advances and then they're in the account, they can freeze his account. Or they could say, "Oh, we're no longer doing business with you." And if you can't get your money to circulate and regulate within the federal government, then you're pretty much playing with fool's gold, pretty much, right? Like
But I'm saying I don't believe that because if you got money in your account, like what Kanye is not being accused of doing anything illegal. He said some stuff about some people that some people didn't like. I've never heard of any other case where the bank can freeze your money because some people said, I don't want to do business with you no more. If that's your money, that's your money in your account. They can't freeze it unless you're involved in some type of illegal dealings where an investigation is going on, where you've already been, what's the word? Like where you already been charged or something like that. Other than that, I can't think of tell me another case when the bank cannot just decide to, we gonna freeze your money because you said this about such and such. So I don't believe that.
Is that what he said, Miss University? Like one day he's cool, and then he got involved into like a drug trafficking charge, or something like that, and they froze his account, or it just for some strange reason he tried to use his card and he can't get his money. Well, what's the context of that statement that he made? Or he just blurted out. He just blurting out random shit.
So, somebody said in the chat, I just looked. He said he owes, because I was looking to see if somebody was going to answer that. But he said he owes $50 million to the IRS, and that's why they froze his account or whatever. Okay, that happens. So that's what I'm saying. If he's saying that's got nothing to do with the Jews. That's got something to do with the U.S. government. So,
that's Uncle Sam, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if somebody could give me an example, I ain't never heard of nothing like that in no case where you say something and people can get mad as they want, however, and just say, "Oh, no, we're gonna freeze your money because you said something about
Kyrie Irving will get my support, not Kanye West.
So
Kyrie,
that's
I
what
can.
happened. If he owes that money, then that does make sense. Why they closed his account? Like he's not able to get any money from his account or do any transaction. And what it seems like is because after what he said, that the IRS decided that you know what, maybe he needs to start paying his taxes that he's been writing off or waiting for or putting it on the side, because you know you could put extensions on and things that I saw, and mostly millionaires and billionaires tend to do extensions until they want to pay a lump sum, or if they go to a charity and they give a certain amount so they can get the highest tax break. But if that's the case, they probably said, hey, you know what, you need to go ahead and pay this money now. And then Adidas went ahead and said, now we're canceling your contract. He was given advance money for the new design of sneakers or whatever not in his fashion line. And then now he has to give back that money, right? That advance money.
Yeah.
Now
Not only that, his billions was tied up into future contracts with his
right,
sales. Right. That's what
right.
made
That's
him
what
a
I'm saying. That's
billionaire.
Yeah,
like
He
but
that's
was
they
what I'm
spending.
can't. But listen, what I'm saying. There's a difference between network and liquid.
Right.
If you
right.
liquid, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think he had that much money liquid. The 2 billion or however many billions. I
Did
don't think he had that money liquid. He had that in network, meaning that this is
yes,
what he's expected to earn. So they
correct,
didn't literally come out there and take $1 billion out of his account. Like that's what I'm
correct,
saying. They can't do that. I don't care if it's an advance or whatever. The bank
correct.
ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? So his net worth and what he was projected to make before the fiscal year closed down was like $1.3 billion. Da 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 da. However, when he lost his contract and him getting advances for a project that wasn't even created yet, so he's no longer doing the project. Now with the settlement, that's when everything start trickling down. Like now you start to see what his actual real wealth is outside of the contracts and stuff. And then now that he owes something, and then with this whole simple fact of the settlement with the divorce, yeah, he's in a bind right now.
Is it still gonna be a billion? What's the number?
His actual worth is about 400-500 million. That is very
What?
similar, yeah, that is
Yeah, that's
very
what it
similar,
was when before he got all them
very
deals. That's
similar
about right.
to P Diddy and like 50 Cent and stuff like that, because that's usually like the average for very successful rappers in the music industry is around 400 and 500 million. And now with this whole situation where he has to pay child support to Kim K and this $50 million IRS situation, and then him not being able to get contracts anymore, right, for his stuff, like he's pretty much in a bind. It's not sweet over there for him. So
He
him
all right.
acting,
So he still got about 500 million. He'll be fine. He just lost them endorsements. I don't
it's
feel
not actually he won't be fine, because if you're living in let's say his place, right, his place, the upkeep for his place, let alone, is about 2 million.
Oh yeah,
You know,
and he got
like
more than one property too.
right, exactly. So you got to take into consideration the upkeep for the properties that he's had. He don't seem like he's going to sell it anytime soon. He got his vehicles and things that I saw. That's upkeep too. Like if you have a Lamborghini, depending on what year it is, the upkeep for that could be almost close to $100,000. You know, even though you have a $400,000 Lamborghini. So like if you start to add up all his things that he have, it's not it doesn't look good.
Called overspending. Like
Yeah, our little kids coming up saying, "Hey, yeah, I want to be just like Kanye West."
This is what my thing with him was. To me, he was always about the money. When he came out with them damn rubber ass Yeezys for $600 and $500 fucking dollars for a piece of rubber, and you want to sell it to your own people, that's overinflated. That's worse than what the opinion we had of Michael Jordan with the $200 tennis shoes. You know, so he was strictly about that. Now that they collapse on him, like y'all was saying earlier, he wasn't really worrying about the black community. He wasn't no Allen Iverson who said, "I don't want my tennis shoes to be that high. I want them at $59 so black kids can afford them."
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah,
Marbury.
Marbury and Allen Iverson. Yeah.
And
Yeah, but look at that. Shaq, all of them did that. But guess what? Black people rejected them shoes.
that's
Well,
facts.
that's
The
If you
most
got on some
popular
Marbury's or
ones
some
Back to
Shaq,
the
was
black
the
people
you
want
wore
some
them in your
Jordans.
eyes. Yeah, them in
Okay,
your
if you
eyes.
got a pair of Shags on and all of that, then you was getting teased.
so what is it? Are you
Cause
saying
I remember I bought my sons a pair of just because it was Shaq's and I was so proud.
Yeah.
And my sons wore them that first day to school and came home and said, and it was in second, third
He
grade.
got clowned.
They was
His
like,
friends clowned him.
no,
His friends
mom, we ain't
clowned him.
wearing these here. And they was young kids.
His
And I
friends.
thought
he
that
got-
is so sad that kids is teasing you
Yeah.
behind wearing. And I think they was like $50 or
That's
60
what they
bucks.
did.
But you
Yeah.
could not, your kids
would-
were getting teased behind
They
that
wouldn't
crap.
go teasing about having some Soldier Reeboks on, or or some Iversons.
I
Converse
had
is
Dr.
made crappy
J.
shoes
I
too.
didn't get clowned.
Let me tell you something. I always dance to the beat of my own damn drum. If I like something, I don't give a damn if it's popular. If I
So
like
what?
it,
So
I
what are you
like it.
saying? So what are
Say
you saying?
Mule.
Black
Did you ever
people-
buy him some XJ 900s? That's what my mom used to buy us, some XJ 900s.
So
No.
are black people gonna support the keep the dollars in, manufacture, like you said, black-owned businesses? If you saying there's a pattern and a track record of black people not supporting content that is put out by entrepreneurs and I guess entertainers, whatever, what's the deal?
I just think that when you inflate the price and you make them ugly shoes,
That's not
like
the problem though.
Kev
They're
said,
paying the same
$600.
amount of money for the white
Yeah.
product.
Yeah, but
They're
if you
spending,
do that and you put an
what-
exorbitant price, it seems like they
Tommy
feel like they
Hilfiger.
have more value. They
Yeah,
think you have more value.
Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors, fucking
Michael Kors ain't
Louis
that high.
Vuitton. They coming up with the money to get to
Michael Kors ain't that high.
I
what's
believe
the other one? Dooney and Burt.
I believe
Don't
that
get me started on the person.
just supporting black businesses is not going to be enough. It's not
That's
going
what
to.
that's what I'm asking. That's what
It's
I'm
not
asking.
going to be. It's not going to
I
be.
think it would have helped establish a little
Hey
foundation.
Mule, I'm in
Wait a
the
minute,
cloud. I'm
y'all.
gonna holler at you in a little bit.
Bye,
All right,
Moo.
Moo. Thank you for coming
All right,
up.
bro.
Wait, Wisdom said,
Love y'all.
I saw where, love you too, Moo. I saw where, folks created a GoFundMe for Kanye.
Lord,
Wait, she said that these damn people are starting to get back to billionaire status.
Lord,
And
why?
then Kanye West ain't even give out turkeys for Thanksgiving. Shit, even the
Yeah.
country
Jay,
people
I
Wisdom,
subbed to
please
your
tell me
channel.
you joking.
Oh,
Girl, you
thank
better
you,
be joking.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there too, babe. Just because you know Mule, I just subbed a little while ago.
No, I've been knowing MJ. So,
Yeah, she
I
has.
don't know. I'm talking about Miss Mule. I just seen her on this channel, Mule channel.
Thank you
Hey,
for
Mule,
subbing to MJ,
Mule.
Miss Lorraine Speaks. Huh? Yes.
Mule.
Uh-huh.
Somebody hit my car today, my new car.
Oh, shit.
But I was in the store and this white lady, got the license plate number and all that.
That's good.
Oh,
I'd have
so
say
they
I
hit
was
your
in it
car
when he
and
hit it
left.
too.
Yeah.
Was it in the parking lot?
Yeah, it was in the parking lot at Target.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Go ahead,
Did
file
But
the
they-
I
report.
already
Did it
filed,
up
already
good?
got the police report and he gave me all the information, the insurance and everything.
Good.
I'm sorry that happened.
Now they go track their
Yeah,
ass
that's
down
fucked up.
too.
He said it's a hit and run since he didn't put no information in there. You know, he just left.
Mhm.
Well, if he gave you the paperwork, you could sue her for that hit and run now, whoever that is. You can take it to the next level. I would. Then you don't
I'm
just. I
saying you
don't
gonna
want
look
to.
at the video.
Is it a video? No, I didn't know. I always look at my car when I come out, and I happen to see my bumper, and he knocked my reflection light off. You know how you're at the bottom of the car? And so the lady came up to me. Yeah, that old man. It was an old man. He hit your car, and then somebody told him, "Oh, it ain't that bad."
Oh.
Okay, you knocked my whole bump off.
Right. That's all right. Got something for his ass.
And so I called my son, and we found. She told me the name of the car and the number, and my son found the VIN number. And so I gave it to the police, and he pulled it up.
Shit, I know they liked y'all. Y'all had half the work already done. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on where it's part, they probably got access to a video. If it's at Target.
Yeah, she said she went in Targets and gave it to the people at Targets too, but she waited till I came out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was really nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
That's
that
thing
was
you
nice.
really
wasn't
That's
hurt.
nice.
Yeah,
And
good
she
thing
gave
you
you her
wasn't hurt.
phone number and everything. We'll be your witness.
Yeah.
that's strong. That's good. Yeah, that's because people don't like low down folks like that, and
Yeah.
that's just low down.
Yeah.
I seen somebody put a note on my car one time. They hit the bumper and
Yeah.
they didn't say they
I
left
had
a
that
note.
happen too. Yeah, they put a note
Yeah,
on the windshield. I didn't even know what it was. It was just a little scratch. I was like, man, fuck
yeah.
that
I had
scratch.
an old ass car. I didn't even call. I said, man, don't even. I called him and said, man,
Yeah.
don't worry about it, man.
But
I'm like,
appreciate it.
I just got this car this year. And I said,
I know what you're
dang.
talking about. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But as I was saying before, yeah, just supporting black business is not going to be enough for us to actually see a change that we want to see, right? We're gonna have to have the people that we are supporting
Mhm.
create.
Somebody got a lot of background noise.
That's you, Dev.
What you want to talk about? Is it me?
Yeah, that's you.
Like, we're gonna have to have the people that we are supporting who are creating these businesses and stuff have to be willing to create these infrastructures and build up these buildings within our community if we're going to actually see this the changes that we want to see. Because what tends to happen, we support black businesses. I know I've been supporting black businesses for a very long time, and the individual or their immediate family are seceding, and I have no problem with that. But like on a collective stance, it does not affect us. It really does not affect us, because what tends to happen is you build up the business, and now they're creating the amount of wealth that their family wanted to have or desire, and they're going out and they're using that money to go buy YSL and go on those big fancy trips and cruises and stuff like that to other countries and spending their money there. So it has to be a kind of way where we're actually saying, all right, if we're supporting these businesses, we're going to take that and we're going to build more infrastructure in our community. If that's not going to happen, then we're going to continue to see this cycle where our dollar is only being circled around in our community only one time.
Yeah, so that's when I was listening to you earlier, I had made the comment. I could tell you from the East Coast, because that is a big ass problem with the gentrification thing in the East Coast. We don't feel it as much in the South because we're not as clustered together and we can buy a house and land. That's not a big thing. They got that for all varieties of finances or salaries. But it took someone from up there to explain to me how they're just trying to corral y'all in certain areas. And
Well,
really,
yeah, it's really bad because technically in New York, they're actually trying to remove all the minorities out of New York. They're actually trying to displace them in New Jersey or other neighboring states like Pennsylvania.
away from the money.
Yes,
They
exactly.
want them away from downtown and the money.
Right, and it's because of our mayor of a couple, like maybe like 10 years ago, Mayor Bloomberg. That was his goal, right? The goal was he didn't want New Yorkers actually living and shopping in New York, as he actually wanted us living in New Jersey or in the outskirts like Westchester County or something like that, but then coming in traveling
and
on
spending
the
your money there.
MTA. Right, exactly. That's what he wanted, and that's what's happening now. Like Brooklyn don't even look like Brooklyn anymore. Brooklyn is so gentrified right now. Like, if you see white women running in the middle of the night in East New York, there's a problem. Okay, if they're running like jogging, doing their little midnight jogs, and they have no problem, then you know your
Also
area.
a big issue in
Mr.
Chicago
Kev,
too. Yeah,
I don't know how you don't say that New Orleans, because you in New Orleans, and let me tell you, I was just there, last weekend? Or the weekend before last?
Yeah.
No, yeah, the weekend right before Thanksgiving. I mean, come on, it's white people pushing strollers at midnight now in the night ward.
But the
Like,
thing about New Orleans, we're a little different because we was 80% black before Katrina. So many people never
it
came
ain't
back.
80% black now,
It's 60. It's about 60.
because I see a whole lot of others
Yeah,
there,
all
and
that
I'm
stuff
like, oh
between
my God, I never
Tropicales all
saw
the way
this
to
before.
St. Charles is 99% white now. But but what she's talking about, she's talking what the difference between where they in New York, those white people got real money up there where she is. These just some broke ass white folks working in the service industry, and then so they moved down here after Katrina. That was just golden opportunity to come in and work in a restaurant. And so
and they bought up a lot of the houses.
yeah, and then the people from out of town, people from out of town just start coming to the south and buying up some land. And I always try to encourage some of the brothers. I be hearing the brothers from the East Coast. I know the hustlers get money, get money, get money. I never really understood that until I started listening to people like MJ explain it to me, because y'all so corral, getting money is the thing. For us, it was buy a house, buy my mom a house and stuff like that. So it was a little different. And I was like, man, y'all got what? Y'all, let's just say a good, somebody did some good financial planning, had a good job like some of these people do. You got a high salary in New York. It ain't nothing but $400-500 to come down here and buy a 3-bedroom for a mortgage, about 5 or 6. That ain't even a efficiency up there. That ain't nothing up there, between the East Coast and West Coast, and they can have a whole 3-bedroom house with a yard, even if they wanted just to rent it out. So and I was like, man, y'all got to come down here and get some of them white folks coming. Almost every white person with a little position in the film industry that I work with just decided to buy a house down here, and they from California.
Well, luckily that's actually what's been happening lately. A lot of Black people from New York has been moving down south, and specifically going to Texas and and I say Florida and Atlanta
and Georgia. A lot of them went to Georgia. Everybody went to Atlanta.
So a lot of them are going down there, for that. What it is, they're looking for job stability, and that's the problem when it comes down to the South, because most of those states are just right to work states, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a comfortability up here on Northeast is that even if we do have, like, let's say our job doesn't pay that much, right? According to New York City standards, it doesn't pay that much. Mm-hmm. If we can't transfer that job down there, like, for example, if there's not a M&M's World store down there in Georgia where I can continue to have my pay that I was made in New York, then for them, their cost of living is pretty much is lower than what they was experiencing.
Yeah, they're gonna take a salary cut coming down here.
Yes, yeah.
I don't care if it's a CEO or whatever. You go get cut.
Right,
right, for the same job.
But let me tell you how smart people are. So my cousin lives in the South, but she applied for an online work at home for Goodwill, which is a discount clothing place, right? I don't know if y'all all know about it. But she got the job up north, right? And you know how they do all of the Zoom interviews, but she had to fly for the final interview. And the drug test and everything.
Mm-hmm. And you know what they're doing, MJ?
Wait, do you know how much they pay up there? For she does something on through the computer, like marketing and stuff like that, and applies to the stores and stuff like that. Do you know she makes $80-something thousand a year, work from home? But if she got that same job with the company here, with the company in the South, they was gonna pay her like $50,000. Mm-hmm. So it's like a huge increase. So if anybody want to think about doing something like that, you can apply for those jobs that's up north, and especially if they work from home, you guys, you do not
stay
have
down
to,
here in the South.
Yeah.
And remember they had that big thing now, MJ, where a lot of people just quit their jobs and decide to work from home after COVID.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing now is they're working from home and just moving to the South and keeping that same salary, just like Mew just said.
Yeah.
Even working at home, making over 100,000.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It does make sense, because I guarantee you, like, you really cannot survive up here in New York unless you make at least 100,000. Right. If you make under 100,000, you're struggling out here. And the rent, if you're renting, the rent is crazy. Our property taxes for our houses is crazy. It does not make it conducive to you to even purchase a house out here in New York. It does not make any sense.
That's
at
why
all.
I feel for y'all. That's why I sit back and listen. I say, okay, yeah, that's tough there because we'll hear things of on YouTube. You need to make 100,000, and to the South, we're like, what? God damn, I got to make 100,000 to get a day. But up there, I can understand what you mean. Like, nigga, that ain't even you. That ain't even That's just the basics up there. So that's phenomenal to us.
Right. And like I said, people won't really necessarily understand it unless they lived other places. Like like I used to live in Florida, so I know, like, I understand the cost of living difference from Florida and New York. Like and then also, like, it's easier for people who was raised in understanding the cost of living, let's say in the South, versus like you coming up to New York, right? So like if you made like let's say for example you made like 95,000, right, in New York, and you're like, oh my god, I'm struggling, like da 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 da, right? And then you move down to Florida, right? And you think, oh, like, yes, the cost of living is cheaper. Yes, I went to the supermarket and this was a whole lot cheaper for me to purchase something versus what I would purchase and pay in taxes in New York City. But as soon as you get hit with the realization of what the pay ranges are down in Florida, then you're like, oh no, like I'm literally in the same boat. And if you don't plan for it to, find a way where you can actually make the same type of money that you're making in New York down in southern states, then it's going to be a culture shock for someone who is a quote unquote city slicker. It's going to be a culture shock.
Yeah, you know what I tell them? But you can buy a house. You can. That's your net worth. So now but that taking a $30,000 cut in salary, ain't nobody trying to do that shit. I feel you on that. That's tough. It's a psychological, messing with me psychologically.
It is a psychological. It's like I had a cousin who moved down to Florida around the same time that I moved down to Florida, and she was working at Eminem's World. Now up here in New York, she was getting paid $15 an hour per se. She was lucky that when she did the transfer down to Florida, that they had an Eminem's World, a big one in the Florida Mall, I think, and she was able to take her pay for what she was making down there, and up here down there. But you know what Florida did? They decided that they put her on part-time. They wouldn't let her get the hours because they had to find a way legally to make sure she was getting paid the same amount as all the Floridians was getting paid.
Well, she probably was making more than her boss then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So they cut her hours.
Bosses in there.
They cut her hours. They cut her day. So it was like pretty much she was making the same if they was offering her $8.95 that they would start you off down there in Florida.
Hey, Miss Shazzy. We was talking about drill music earlier, Miss Shazzy.
I told him you a drill head. She must be cooking or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, this was a brilliant conversation, and I liked how we left the conversation, but we came back and then we left it again and came back, because I do want to know, why is it that we keep being told to support Black businesses, and we support the Black businesses, right? And you're right, it doesn't trickle down to anything, and why don't our billionaires and millionaires want to do like grocery store chains and stuff like that?
Which is a big deal. Big deal. They have a MJ. They got a lot of food deserts down here in the South, right? Yeah. Food deserts literally mean that I got friends in Carrollton, Alabama, that may have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to the grocery store, Walmart. So what they're doing, because what they did is they cut. They would cut off all the little rural areas of the Black areas, and then the farmers can't get their shit to market, and all they want, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But my point is, the biggest thing coming up, which is one of the things I was reviewing for investing in, is Dollar Generals. So they just people just getting Dollar Generals even on their own land, right by the main road, because all you're really doing is putting up a warehouse, and then you're going by the guidelines of Dollar General's, corporate, setting, kind of like Subway and Starbucks, and they're
Right.
starting to plug in. Dollar General is starting to plug in, to those areas of the food deserts. So, and that's a big thing down here.
I think that's smart. I think that you have to find a way to, fill that need. And the best thing to do is to have Black people fill that need, and don't wait until a big conglomerate gets in and fill the need for you, right? Because as soon as they jump in and they come in and they act like they're on their white cape and they're doing something for your community because they're fulfilling the need, then all of a sudden now they get to tell you what you get. Right. Now all of a sudden they get to basically say, oh, well, we're going to charge them this much, or we're only going to sell this item, and we're not going to sell this item in this community. So if we get in first, then we can basically put what we need for us in our community. Like we can get we get to say so. And that's what we have to do. We have to be first. We have to be first to jump on it. We should not wait until an Asian man or
we've seen it done before. We missed out on buying a Starbucks. Shit, we'd have tore that up, in some of these extended franchises, So I don't have the funding to do that and the loan to get it done. One of my friends, a little friend, worked as a manager at a Dollar General, and she said, I want to own my own. I'm like, we can do that. Let's go ahead on and try to get some of that federal funding that they're giving out for small business loans and minority women and whatever that is. And if you can get the loan, then you just got to find a location. That would be nice. And I like to see it because
I'm sorry, sir.
Wait, let me just say this here. 1 to 3 niggas and a mammy. Love your name.
3 niggas and a mammy.
Welcome. I ain't never seen you before, but welcome. 3 niggas and a mammy.
I was just gonna say, how are the farmers doing in your area, sir? Like, I know there's been a big problem and issue with the Black farmers. Content creators,
they're still struggling. They're waiting on Biden was supposed to give them some relief, and some of the big farmers was like they got really stuck with the soybean farmers. Really got they sold them bad soybean seeds, and white boys sold them some bad shit. Where they used to go, so they crops was messed up. But and then you also had China that broke away from the United States, and China used to order used to purchase 75% of the United States soybeans. So these dudes really hurting. Even you remember they had to subsidize even the white soybean growers.
Right.
So, and when you're dealing with these people down here that trying to keep a lock on a game, even your basic stuff, your corn and stuff like that, your cotton, your sugar canes, those Black farmers that have a little piece of that, pig farms and stuff like that, the people that they got to sell it to or try to get it in the grocery stores, they're not gonna do business with you. So it's kind of limited. It's like we was talking about Master P. Well, his idea is the biggest thing we need to do is get some products on a grocery store shelves. That's why he's selling cereals and chips and stuff like that. That's where the money at. It's damn near $2.75 for a bag of chips, and it ain't even a half a potato in that motherfucker.
Right.
That's a hell of a flip. By him being a street dude, he know the flip. What's the biggest flip out there? And that's what you shoot for on the grocery store shelves, because we literally don't have one damn item from a Black person on any grocery store shelves.
I'll tell you the truth. There are a few Black items in grocery stores, but I noticed that they don't put the Black items that are made in our grocery stores. If you go to other people's community and counties, you will see that there. Like, for example, the little Black girl that started that lemonade company. I forgot, it was like something B something. Her juice, her juice, her lemonade drink is in a lot of Walgreens and Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that in different communities. However, if I was to go to a predominantly minority community, they don't have that there.
Yeah, we was tearing them patty pies and them patty pies up for a minute. You remember Patty had the pie? Whatever. Patty
I know the patty pie. Yeah,
we was tearing them patty pies up. But yeah, I do get what you're saying on that. It's hard to get it on the shelf. And we not really. I really can't. I mean, Master P got a few things on the shelf, but down here they even got the little Mexican section with the tacos and all that shit. They ain't got no black section. You know, they got the they got the little, you know, all
Yeah,
the little,
I noticed that. Like in the grocery store, they have the West Indian section. They have a Hispanic section. They even have an Asian section in the grocery store, but there is nothing that is like geared to black people, like black Americans, like in general. You know, like there's not a section where you can say, oh, I can go here and get everything that I need for Thanksgiving dinner, you know what I'm saying, or Sunday dinner. Like there's nothing like that. So I mean, yeah, that's something that we definitely need to work on. But I wanted to ask you about the farmer situation because I know that it was going through a very, very hard time. And I know that somebody was trying to reestablish looking at the Homestead Act and pretty much land that is literally owed to a lot of black farmers, and also bring light to how black farmers are being forced to close down due to contracts being annulled for no
and see, those contracts are usually state. And see, even though we get, you know, you might get some federal government support, but that shit don't trickle down to the South. And a lot of that government money goes to the governor, like you've seen the case with the water in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? They had more than enough money to fix their water system, but the governor didn't give it to that city because the majority black. He gave it to fucking Brett Favre and them. You see what I'm saying? And they corrupt like that. They still want to keep that foothold on you. The idea that black people doing good are better than some of them, they can't stand. And that's what makes it a little more difficult. So I do see, and I'll tell people sometimes, yeah, well, look, they got a lot of stuff that, I mean, affirmative action, yeah, that was a great thing, but that shit didn't do nothing for nobody in the South. We ain't got no Fortune 500 companies down here. We got one in Louisiana, and that's Entergy. Mississippi and Alabama probably don't have none. You know, then you go through Memphis, you go through Tennessee, Arkansas, outside of Atlanta. Atlanta itself, Georgia's a big ass place, you know, but
Georgia's a huge place.
Right.
You know,
so you ain't getting none of that love like that.
I know. Georgia's a huge place, a huge place, and I have been all around Georgia and outside of Atlanta. Yeah, it's lacking. It's lacking a lot of where it looks completely different outside of Atlanta.
Well, we about to hit the 4-hour mark, y'all, and I really thought this was going to be like a 2-hour stream. But I just want to appreciate you guys, everybody who came up. Thank you guys. You guys really make my
nice
day.
meeting you, MJ. We'll talk again.
You too,
very,
sir.
Very few channels I go on. This is one of them, you know.
Thank you very much, sir. It was nice meeting you.
All right, we'll chop it up about it again later.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kev. Mr. Kev is a cool dude. MJ, love your intelligence, love your everything. Everybody, please, I pinned the link to MJ's channel. Is say it again, Sweet Lorraine.
Oh, A Word with Lorraine.
A Word with Lorraine. You guys, she is so intelligent. I just can't wait to go watch over there. She has a video that she just told us about, so I'm gonna go over there and watch that right now.
So I'm just gonna let you know that I'm gonna show out a PSA. I talk about waterheads, okay? I do talk about waterheads. Waterheads is anyone. Waterheads is not specifically to black men. I don't have a problem with black men, but I have a problem with waterheads. So if you take offense and you come over my channel, I'm going to block you. Okay? I'm going to drag you first and block you. But I'm going to say what I want to say. If the situation do not apply to you, then let it fly. And if not, you can go somewhere else. But if you do come, I enjoy your company. Mule, thank you so much, sis, for having me on. I appreciate it. Shazay, thank you so much for subscribing. I love you, sis. I knew you for a minute, and I'm so sorry about your car. I really am sorry about that. Hopefully it gets fixed and you're smiling and twerking in it as quickly as possible.
Girl, because Jose, let me tell you something. Miss Jose too fly, baby, to be walking around, driving around with a dent in her bumper. Oh no, we not having that, Miss Shazzy. So I am sorry that happened to you, but I am so glad that somebody was looking out for you. You know, when you're a good person, good things happen for you. And I always say that. You know, Bath and Body Works, y'all had the big candle sale. It started yesterday. And so I ran over there.
They got the
Yes.
candles.
It's yesterday and today. It's a 2-day sale, yesterday and today. And yes, girl, and you know, I went crazy and bought a bunch of candles. Because they regular $26 out here. For the candles that I like is $26. And guess what? They all were $9.95 for the 3-wick candles.
Ooh, I might have to get some candles.
Yes, I went crazy because I give them out as gifts, and plus I, you know, of course I got to keep a bunch for myself. But but no, let me tell you, I was so blessed in that store. I went in there and I thought it was going to be crowded. It wasn't. So I go in and I'm getting my candles, and this random lady, she was just talking to me, and she goes, "Do you have your coupons?" And I said, "No, I left them at home." And I said, "I came right from work." And you know what she said? "Here, I have an extra one." And do you know she gave me a $30 off coupon, girl?
Wow, that's so nice.
You know, and I just was like, "Oh my God, thank you." And I told her she had blessed me. I said, "Thank you so much." But you know what? I was talking to my coworker and I told her about the experience on my way home because she just randomly called me and I was, you know, super excited about it. And she said, "You know, you always look out for everybody. So it's just your karma coming back." That really made me feel good for somebody to tell me that. You know, but I did. I felt so blessed by that lady because she did not even know me.
Right.
You know, she just randomly was like, "Oh, I have an extra one." And I mean, save me $30. $30 is $30.
That's nice. That's so nice. You know, genuine people always know when to pay it forward. And, you know, and because if she's feeling happy and she's feeling blessed, she wanted to pay it forward. And she probably
Yes.
seen that you was a genuine person. She felt it in her soul. And that's why she was like, I'm going to do something nice for someone. That's always a beautiful thing when that does
I
happen.
even I even asked her because I'm so not used to people just randomly giving me stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, "You want me to give you like half of it?" Because I was gonna pay her. Like I didn't know she was trying to get some money, but she was like, "Oh no," she said, "That's free. That came in the mail." I was like, "Oh, okay," because I'm so used to people wanting something from me. You know, I mean, it's horrible to say that, but I'm just not used to being on the receiving end a lot. And it just really made me feel good. It really did. I hope I run into that lady again.
You probably will. Most likely you will. But I'm gonna go ahead on off Mule. Thank you again for having me. And I'll
Mhm.
talk to you guys later. Love you. Stay safe. Be blessed and
Love
happy
you
holiday.
too, little sis. Take care.
Bye
And
bye.
I love you too, Miss Jose. I think Miss Jose is busy cooking or something. I just want to say thanks for everybody who came up and everybody who was in the chat. I really do appreciate you guys for showing me love. Thank you so much. Wow, what's good, Miss Candy Cane Lane? Yes, karma does come back to you. And you know, I always want to say this here. We talk a lot of this crap on YouTube, but please don't let it turn you bitter or hard in your real life because guess what? It's still so much good out there. It's so many beautiful people out there, man. Um, it's so many children. If you could reach out to children in your family, you know, it could be, you know, your sister kids or your brother kids or you know, cousins, especially when you know they, you know, you don't always have to give people money. I tell people this all the time. Giving people, especially children or people who work in hard, kind words of encouragement. Man, y'all don't know how much sometimes people need those kind words, you know. I don't feel like I do anything special for anybody at my job or something, but it does make me feel good sometimes when somebody just randomly tell me, you know, that I do stuff for them. You know, that I guess you do certain, I guess, make good comments to people without really thinking about it. But, you know, yesterday when I was telling her about the coupon that the lady gave me, and my coworker was saying, something positive to me that I do for them, and I'm thinking, well, do I do that? Like, I don't, you don't even notice it, but yeah, just sharing kind words. People come back and later tell you like that meant something to them, and you didn't even, you just was being naturally you.